Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to episode 123 of the Film Blurs. I'm Jeff Stewart, aka Uncle Jeffrey, aka JOT's Dynamite, aka Praetorian Jeff, aka Benjamin Button, He Who Remains, Petty Ruxpin, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker, to be determined, the Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, and Ebony Spielberg. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
What's up, you fucking ball bags? It's Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, a.k.a. the true father of Joe and Kanye's kids, a.k.a. Papi Chulo, a.k.a. the Glizzy King, a.k.a. Mr. Krusty, a.k.a. the Little Protector, a.k.a. Ezekiel Sims. Bad ADR, my mouth doesn't match the words that I'm saying. A.k.a. it's Morbin time. A.k.a. my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweating at each other. A.k.a. I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape-ups. A.k.a. Rough McGruff. A.k.a. D's Nuts. And A.k.a. B Wood the Magnificent. Before we launch into some fucking news, start following us on our socials, you ball bags. Like, we need mad followers now. And tell your friends about us.
Yep, share, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. Because the Mouse House is playing games.
Yeah, nigga. Like, help us get to like 5,000 across all of our socials. You know what I'm saying? And tell your friends to listen. Even if they stop halfway through, at least tell them to listen.
Yeah, download it. Forget about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. Moving into news, I want to talk about something I saw this morning because it is now, I'm going to date this episode. It is June 7th, Friday, June 7th. I woke up this morning and on Twitter, I saw that a rumor is going around that because Marvel announced a couple of weeks ago they are actively trying to hire writers for X-Men, their X-Men movie in the MCU, and I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I guess they're gonna jump into it once we get to the end of the multiverse saga. Well, this hurt my soul. One of the rumored people they met with was Jordan Peele, and Jordan Peele. Apparently, from what I read, rumors Jordan Peele met with them, pitched a couple of ideas, and then said no thanks. Once it became clear, they wanted a warm body on set. I'm like, bro, how y'all gonna get a meeting with probably one of the most prolific directors out? Even though he only has 3 films, he's been producing a lot. I know he said he's trying to get his 4th film at Universal to get the ball moving on that. And I'm just like, bro, you got one of the best filmmakers working today. And even this nigga's like, thanks, but no thanks.
They had to put him in the meeting, right? Like they had to have a list of high ranking, like superstar directors to say that they fucking courted before they go to someone like, fucking Sean Levy.
That fucking sucks. Yeah, because Sean Levy's supposedly the front runner to do both Avengers movies.
Yeah, so like it was good on Jordan for keeping face and showing up to the meeting, even though everybody knows you're not going to be able to do anything in the MCU.
I mean,
that's not under Kevin's control.
Let's be real. Any working filmmaker right now, if you tell them like, yo, you can redo the X-Men, of course you're going to take that meeting because it's fucking X-Men. And X-Men, it's a parable and an allegory for discriminated people, minorities, queer people. It tracks on to everybody. We could put that shit on Palestinians. You could put that shit on the Ukrainians, like
right,
the citizens of North
so
Korea.
He had to take the meeting, and but there's no way in hell the Marvel and Kevin are going to take any chances with this property, which goes against fundamentally what the fucking comic book's about, because the comic book is all about taking chances and fucking sticking your finger in the eye of authority.
Man, could you imagine that Jordan Peele was the one to do X-Men? Like, bro, that
I would look forward to that. I would like that.
That would have probably potentially saved the MCU, because now it seems like the only thing on the tip of people's tongue. Like, even people who hate the MCU are just like, yeah, can't wait to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm just like, and we didn't talk about this last episode, but even this nigga, I read an article where Kevin Feige tried to talk Hugh Jackman out of reprising the role as Wolverine. He straight up sat him down. He's like, don't come back. You ended it perfectly with Logan. And I'm sitting there like, nigga, like, you're trying to...
Like, who are you to talk?
You're trying to run a business, though, right? Like, me personally, like, let's forget about it creatively, because creatively it's whatever, because it's the multiverse, so it don't even have to be exactly that universe as Wolverine. It could be a different universe as Wolverine. Why the fuck would you sit down one of the biggest stars in the world who is returning to the role that made him beloved, and you're going to be like, yeah, don't join this shit? What, seriously, what type of fucking thinking is that?
You know why? Because he knows that Deadpool and Wolverine is going to blow everything he's done over the last 2 years, right, out of the water, and show them.
Well, 4.
Like, what a movie.
Well, 4, because the decline happened during 2020.
I was trying to be nice, but all right. Over the last 4 years, it's going to be the most successful, and it's going to prove that without Kevin at the ship anymore, things can be fun, creative, and successful. I mean, they're selling fucking tickets for this thing 2 months in advance.
Yeah, and it's
right.
Sold
it's already
out.
got sold out.
It's sold out, bro. And I'm just like, all right, well, it's gonna be a battle getting into this screening. And now I was going to go, like, the third weekend it was out to see it in IMAX, and now I gotta go, like, make sure I get tickets for the second weekend, because Lionsgate decided to throw Borderlands in IMAX. I'm like, the fuck, y'all pulling that shit off just to show that? Okay, all right.
And like, here's the thing, we were talking about yesterday. I had forgotten that Borderlands was a thing until I literally saw an 80-foot poster in Times Square. Yeah, right? Beyond that, it was like, oh shit, that's a movie that's going to appear and then quickly disappear.
Lionsgate, baby.
Lionsgate. What? Like, we can have a whole entire fucking episode on. Like, y'all throw your weight into the wrong shit. You throw your money into the wrong shit.
We're going to get into some Lionsgate shit right after this next piece of Marvel news. We've been shitting on Captain America Brave New World for a minute. And, well...
I mean...
So,
look.
it reportedly they test screened it. And reportedly the test screenings went pretty fucking bad, which is wild because even Argyle had great test screenings.
What was that?
I said even Argyle had great test screenings. It's because this is why I hate test screenings, dog, because test audiences are stupid. If it ain't some like wild, fun blockbuster shit, if you show them anything like like let's say they don't tell you what the movie is. You sign up to do a test screening, like, and you don't know what the movie is, and you sit down and it starts. Like, imagine a test audience showing up for Moonlight. Like, of course they're gonna give it bad scores. They don't want to see shit like that.
Right.
But again, who knows? Because again, according to test audiences, the highest tested MCU movie was Volume 2. So I'm like, that's why I don't really trust test audiences, but I do for this, just because it's just like, it's been one thing after the other. And now because of these test scores, they just started on Monday doing another round of reshoots and adding in Giancarlo Esposito as a major character. And I'm just like, y'all, this movie comes out in February and y'all are doing more reshoots. Like, this is Doctor Strange all over again.
I was just about to say that, right? Like, this is what happens, right? This is how you end up with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, right? Like, fucking reshoots after reshoots after reshoots. They got Giancarlo looking like fucking old man Blade up in this piece, right? Like, it was already an uphill battle with a black Captain America, right? It was already an uphill battle, right? And now all of these reshoots, all of this like rejiggering or whatever like that you want to call it, that doesn't instill confidence in anyone. Especially since your fucking track record over the last 4 years has been abysmal.
Right, because there's been, 3 shows that we've both really liked. And then one movie we're well, okay, I guess we can say 2 movies. 2 movies where we're just like, oh, that's amazing. And then the rest have been like, okay, sure.
Right, yeah, they existed. They
because like,
up.
I know people don't like Black Widow or Eternals, but like, those are much better than what came afterward.
100%.
Except for Spider-Man and except for Guardians. And now that I think about it, we got those movies too close together, because I remember July was Black Widow, September it was Labor Day weekend, it was Shang-Chi, and then right before Thanksgiving it was Eternals, and I'm thinking about it now, and then Spider-Man was Christmas. I'm like, that's 4 movies within the span of like 6 months.
And they were just beating you over the head with lore, with fucking continuity or lack of continuity, with all this shit, right? And they expect you to fucking keep up. And, you know, you put out 4 movies in the same fucking universe in the span of 6 months, right? You can't keep that level of quality going.
And I'll be real with you, as much as me and you don't like Shang-Chi, I would rather take Shang-Chi than half the shit we've gotten since then.
Honestly, I can't even remember what we've had. That's how much, like, it's just gone out of my mind. Wasn't there? Oh yeah, that's right. There was a fucking a Nick Fury fucking Secret Invasion TV show that did fucking that. It made things more messy and made me angry. Like, the show made me fucking angry.
I completely forgot about that. Like, the only show off the dome that I remember, there's only 3.
Right.
Off the top of the dome, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, and the best one, Loki.
Right. And like, here's the thing. Some of these Marvel properties are so good that I forget that they're Marvel.
Yeah, that's what
properties.
I'm saying. Because like
Loki,
I was about to say, like, why the fuck is Loki so good and then everything else sucks? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
The character that's been around for 15 years and y'all could get that right, but like, come on, man.
And like, you've had to correct me on the show plenty of times when I talk, like, because my mind refuses to accept that Guardians of the Galaxy is actually part of the MCU.
Yeah, that movie, like, watching that movie, I was like, yo, y'all fucked up, like, firing James Gunn, dog, because like, y'all should be keeping him. And imagine if James Gunn if that didn't happen and James Gunn had stayed, you know what I'm saying? He would have been what Josh Whedon was for Phase 2, where Josh Whedon oversaw all of Phase 2. which maybe explains, I mean, as shitty as Josh is, maybe explains why outside of a couple of movies, Phase 2 is so strong.
It worked.
So
it
strong.
Worked.
And so
right?
short. Phase 2 was also short. It was only like 5 movies.
Right. So fucking Black Cap, I'm sorry for you, man. One of these days, Anthony Mackie is going to win. I swear to God, one of these days he's going to win.
It just breaks my heart that knowing that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be Captain America 4, and this one we're just going to be like, all right. Like the fact that he's fighting Red Hulk, I'm like, the fuck are we doing? Shouldn't
what are we
Red
doing?
Hulk be Thunderbolts, since that's the name of his fucking team? General Thaddeus,
are they even
Thunderbolt Ross? Like,
are they still doing the Thunderbolts? Like, is that still a thing?
It's supposed to be dropping next summer. Like Thunderbolts went into production already, so I'll give them that. The only movie that's coming out next year that hasn't gone into production, you could already guess what it is.
I'm guessing is it Blade? Is it Blade? Like, how do you fuck up Blade? It is a vampire hunter who's half vampire who can walk during the day. Like the shit, you can't fail at that shit. All right, you had one Blade failure, and that was Blade Trinity.
That failed for a few reasons.
Right. But all the other even the fucking Blade TV show on Spike TV,
they managed to pull that shit off, and I'm like, y'all can't pull off a fucking whatever. Here's my thing. Here's my thing too. Somebody, because a couple of weeks ago, while we were doing other things, and I forgot to talk about it, I saw somebody bring this up. They announced in 2026, White Vision is coming back in his own miniseries starring Paul Bettany, and somebody was just like, "Oh, cool! So 6 years later, we're finally gonna resolve this storyline." That should have happened much sooner. I'm like, yeah, it's wild to me we're getting an Agatha show before we deal with fucking White Vision. And Vision has been around longer and has more emotional heft.
I thought they canceled the Agatha show. I thought that was put on the ice.
That shit is dropping in September, dog. Yeah.
Word. Like, I love me some Catherine Hahn. I really
but I'm
do.
not trying to watch that shit.
But, like, I'm not trying to watch the fucking Agatha Harkness show. Like, come on.
Jesus Christ, y'all.
Like,
but that brings me to my next thing before we move on. Going forward, they got to start picking heroes, and the heroes they pick, we have to start getting their movies a little quicker. Like, it shouldn't be 7-8 years between movies. Like Doctor Strange, his first movie came out, and then we didn't get the sequel until 7 years later, and now.
Was it 7 years?
And now we're not going to get his third movie till who knows when. Oh, man, what's Simu Liu? Somebody just recently asked him, like, yo, so let's go with Shang-Chi. He's just like, I'll be real. All I know that it's happening. It's a priority because, we were one of the most successful and beloved Marvel projects. He's just like, I just don't think it's going to happen till after Avengers. And I'm like, okay, so by the time Shang-Chi 2 comes out, and it's going to be fucking another 7-8 years. And y'all still left the shit open with the 10 rings. And that has to be resolved. I'm like, yo, all this, you guys got to focus on some heroes. Like, pick a group of heroes. Focus on them so we could get their trilogies a little faster. And then we can move on.
How is it that Phase 1 was done so well?
Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3.
And like in Phase 1, they didn't even know what the fuck they were doing.
Because everybody, like Iron Man's trilogy wrapped up in Phase 2. Everybody else's trilogy wrapped up in Phase 3. So within like 10 years, at least everybody got to wrap their storylines up.
Right. Yeah. And like this hodgepodge,
because it wasn't that long between sequels for Thor or Iron Man or Captain America, and now it's taken 6 years.
And like here's the thing, there's a fine middle ground, right? I shouldn't have to wait 6 years for these sequels, but also I shouldn't get a movie every 2
Yes.
months
Yes.
or a TV show. Like, can you give me two movies a year? 3
My
movies.
other thing would be they need to go back to what they did in the Infinity Saga and start making these Avengers movies end each phase instead of the event. Because Kevin's like, yeah, I remember when this started. Kevin's like, so Avengers movies will no longer be the end of each saga. Avengers movie, or excuse me, of the end of each phase. They'll be the end of each saga. And I'm just like, so that means we could go a whole 9, 8, 10 years without an Avengers movie because now you want these shits to be uber mega events instead of, hey, let's get everybody together for one battle and let's have it lead up to something. That's what I loved about Avengers. And now Avengers is just going to be like, all right, let's get everybody together so we could beat this bad guy we're meeting for the first time.
And here's my question. What the fuck is the difference between a saga and a phase? It feels like the same thing to me.
So
right?
phase 1, right? Phase 1, all the heroes are introduced. They come together at the end in Avengers and beat Loki. And then Loki, you find out Loki's working for Thanos. Cool. Phase 2. Phase 2 is dealing with them, being the Avengers and dealing with, Avengers level threats. And then it culminates with them going up against Ultron, right? And because of their repercussions, the Avengers break up, all right? Phase 3, now that they're scattered, Thanos finally gets the Infinity Gauntlet and starts getting all the Infinity Stones. So now they all got to come back together and finally take down Thanos. That's what they need to start doing. Phase 4 should have had an Avengers movie where we had, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, all these people.
Clean it up.
War Machine, Sam and Bucky as the new Cap duo. Like, that should have been it. And then once you get to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Kang rears his head and he's just like, yo, I've seen what we've been doing. And now, so at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, it should have had like a scene where Scott tells everybody, like on a video conference, like they did at the end of Shang-Chi, like, hey, this dude's in the multiverse. He rules the multiverse. He's on his way. Like, we got to figure out something to do. And that is where you introduce the TVA into the movies.
Right. And also, like, there are bigger problems. We'll get off Marvel but whatever. But you also have the fact that now they're changing midstream with Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, and Kang, who knows if Kang is still going to be the villain of these movies.
Right. So, like, it's a fucking whole... It's a pile of shit.
Yeah, because
it's a pile of shit that they're trying to sort through.
I've been talking... I worked the election polls, and I talked to a dude who's more heavily into comic books than either one of us. Like, this dude knew that shit in and out. And when I told him that, the Fantastic Four movie is going to have Galactus, and then the next saga villain is going to be Doctor Doom, he's like, but fucking why? Dude's just a dictator.
Right.
And he has his own country. Like, whenever he gets beaten, he's just like, all right, well, I'm going to fuck back off to my own country, and then I'll deal with y'all niggas later. So the fact that even a comic book nerd's like, really, y'all, Doctor Doom's going to be over Galactus, the dude who eats planets. And Galactus is you treat Galactus like Thanos. It's this threat in the distance that's slowly coming towards us. Like, he keeps eating worlds.
So here's what I think they're going to do to have their cake and eat it too. They're going to end up fighting Galactus the first part of that movie. Like, that's probably going to be the intro scene, right? And then they get blasted off to whatever other dimension, right? After battling him, he's still a threat. That way you can say, all right, we had fucking Galactus in this, and we're throwing these Fantastic Four into whatever prime timeline, because that's what the plan was, right? Is that this Fantastic Four doesn't even take place in our Earth, right?
So So
right?
basically,
That's
because
lazy writing.
basically what, again, the first act of the movie is supposedly like they've beaten all of their main villains, which is stupid, and the movie opens in the first act they're fighting Mole Man before it moves on to Silver Surfer and Galactus. That's also why this movie has two Silver Surfers, one female, one male.
Cool.
Because I remember when they announced Julia Garner
Sure.
was going to be Silver Surfer, everybody's like, female Silver Surfer. I'm like, that is the least of that movie's problems.
Right? You're nerding over, you're getting your nerd rage up in arms over the wrong fucking thing. Right? Like, these are the same people that ruined Star Wars because God forbid there be a skirt or a Negro anywhere in their fucking universe. Yeah.
Okay, but you know what, man? Enough of Marvel. Let's move into we were just talking about Lionsgate. Me and you last week we were talking about Hunger Games and how Suzanne Collins was like she's only going to do Hunger Games when she has an idea. And I respect her for that cuz she's just like, yo, listen, I'll call you, you don't call me. Yesterday,
as it should be. Fucking, she's already rich enough.
Yeah, and
right?
It's very clear she cares about this shit where it's more creative endeavor than it is a financial endeavor. Yesterday, before the movie started, I saw that across every major platform, everybody's like, there's a new Hunger Games book coming out next year. And I was like, oh shit, all right. I was excited. I was like, all right, Suzanne's back in the wagon. I was like, I hope it's just as good as Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because I love that book and I'm excited. It's another prequel. It's going to take place 20 years after Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it's going to follow Woody Harrelson's character because, you know, if y'all familiar, he also went through the Hunger Games as well.
Right.
So it's going to follow his character. I read that. I was like, cool. After the movie, we get on the train. And I was just like, God damn, Lionsgate announced November 20th, 2026. I was just like, can we read the motherfucker first? Can I read the book? Can I enjoy, like, I enjoy these movies, right? But I like, the books are 10 times better than the movies.
Right. I mean, in most cases, the book is going to be better than the movie. Like, that's not an argument. But the fact that, like,
it hasn't even published
like
yet, right?
a year,
like,
right?
Not even. I don't even think it's going to be a year. Like, let me look up when the book is going to come out. I'm like, dog, can we get 2 years, please, at least?
Can we get some build up? Can we get like some excitement over it, right? Because here's the thing: if they're trying to drop this in 2026, that means they're going into pre-production right fucking now. Like yesterday, when they made the announcement, they were already in post-production, right? So we don't even know if this book is fucking finished.
Oh, damn. Suzanne,
right? This
not
book
to cut you off real quick before you get back to your point. I just want to say, I'm Googling trying to find the release date for the book, and a picture of Suzanne Collins popped up, and I knew she was an older woman, but I mean, damn, for an older woman, she looks good. She looks like she's 40. Like, Suzanne.
Money keeps you young. Money
Suzanne,
keeps you
if
young.
you're listening to this, like, slide in my DMs. Okay, but keep going.
But, like, so that means, like, so the book is supposed to be released in a year.
Okay,
right? So that means she has to finish. She has to finish the book, get the book to the editors, right? Do all this shit, right? And they're still going ahead and making, like, they're planning the movie. You know what happens when you do shit like this? Game of fucking Thrones.
So I just got it. Sunrise on the Reaping is what the name of the new book will be called. Drops March 18th, 2025. That's pretty fucking soon.
Yeah, that's less than a year.
And then November 20th, 2026, we'll be getting The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. And I just wish they would just use the titles of the books. You know what I'm saying? Like the second movie could just be called Catching Fire. You know, the prequel could just be called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Like we all know what it is. Like it's so less than a year from when the
No, it's going to be a little over a year because the book drops March 18th and then the movie's going to drop November 20th. So it's going to be a little over a year. It's going to be like a year and like 5 months, but still, like, that is quick.
Right?
Francis Lawrence, this is news to me. Francis Lawrence is returning.
I've always liked Francis Lawrence as a director. He's one of those few music video directors who actually made a decent translation to narrative storytelling.
I will say this. My only problems with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the movie, is they took the longest book and shoved it into 2.5 hour movie. So it's pretty sloppy.
Right.
Number one. Number two, what's Rachel Zegler, her Southern accent? I was just like, I wish you just didn't do that shit, quite honestly. And number three, I don't know what happened between Mockingjay and this because the three previous movies, which were Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1, and Mockingjay Part 2, all done by Francis Lawrence, and they're all fantastic looking and directed films. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes felt like a Marvel movie. It looked like a Marvel movie, despite the actors doing incredible jobs across the board and the story just being done very well. I don't know what happened because you could tell, like, I'm like, Francis, why didn't you do this like you did the other ones that you made? Like, it looks like 90% of that movie's in front of a fucking green screen. Like, it looks flat and overlit like Argyle in a Marvel movie.
I mean, because, Lionsgate be Lionsgating. And, this just occurred to me. Lionsgate's new studio should be up and running in Jersey by the time this goes into production.
Let me be a fucking grip on this movie. I'll be a grip.
Right.
I'll be gripping.
So take that as you will, as a bonus or as a deficit. But yeah, fucking this shit's coming to Jersey.
All right, yo, listen.
Hard.
I am fucking excited for a new Hunger Games book. I am not. I don't know how I feel on a new Hunger Games movie by Francis Lawrence. I'm like, I love Francis Lawrence, but I feel like it's high time he passed the baton.
I have no skin in the game when it comes to the Hunger Games. When I watch them, I like them, right? But I've never been all that invested in it just because I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence.
I'll be real with you. I don't even think she's that bad in these movies. I just wish, and this is no offense to Josh Hutcherson, I wish she had a better secondary lead. Same with Liam Hemsworth. Like, no offense to you, bro, but like,
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't offend me. Like, I think she's a competent actress. I just think that her burn is a little too bright.
Fair enough. Yeah. Even a mediocre comedy, people like suck that shit off, I guess, because she's in it.
Right. Like, she's like she's like the version 1.0 version of Sydney Sweeney to me.
Yeah, but now she took the personality of Amy Schumer with her. I was like, I wish you two never met, honestly.
I wish you two were friends.
So we're going to end news on this last bit because there's a lot of, well, I guess let's get into the last two bits of news because I do want to talk about the last part. But this next part, it's Lionsgate adjacent because they fucked up and let this go to Netflix. Netflix announced that next year, because they're getting ready to, Rian Johnson's getting ready to gear up to start shooting the final, well, it's not the final because who knows? I'm not going to say final, but let's say final Knives Out movie for Netflix because I hope Ryan takes this shit somewhere where we could all see it in a theater. It's called Knives Out 3, and every day a new cast member joins. I'm not going to get into all the cast members just because it's too many fucking people. We'd be sitting here for 4 hours.
Like literally every day,
Right.
someone
It's
else.
called Wake Up Dead Man. And it's Benoit Blanc's most dangerous case yet. The font is using the font of There Will Be Blood. So I'm pretty excited. Look, one thing I appreciate is Rian Johnson's following what Agatha Christie does with Poirot, which is making each one like it's a murder mystery,
It's
but
okay.
it's different, right? Like the first one was like an old school murder mystery. The second one was like a contemporary pandemic set murder mystery under the sun.
I mean, like
A little
honestly,
more action focused too.
Honestly, Glass Onion is the closest thing we've gotten to Rashomon in a minute, right?
And the thing is, Knives Out was so good, and I was just like, man, I would love to keep watching these movies. And then I remember going into Glass Onion and sitting in the Dolby screening room and just thinking, like, I don't know how he's gonna, and then he did it. So now this one, I'm just like, bro, I don't know how you're going to top Glass Onion, and I don't want this to top Glass Onion. I just want this to be just as good, at least, as the first one. Just because Glass Onion, you went a little too hard, my guy. Like, even the directing, like, all the camera tricks he's doing, I'm like, Ryan, you're making a murder mystery, dog. Like, you're doing too much.
Look, when someone gives you the keys to the castle,
overpays,
you run around. Right, and overpays. Oh, like overpays, right? But then like has no idea how to recoup any of that fucking money.
I'm still gonna talk about this now. That 1 week run that they gave Glass Onion made $30 million in 1 week.
Yeah.
And it was sold out like across the nation.
I would have loved to have watched Glass Onion in a crowded movie theater with everybody experiencing the same fucking thing at the same fucking time, which is what movies are
man,
for.
I'm so lucky. I'm so glad I got to see it twice in the theater. Once at the press screening and then one at the Draft House. And let me tell you, man, like I saw Knives Out at a press screening and then went to the Draft House to see it. Same with Glass Onion. And it's just like those movies are more fun when you watch it with an audience. And then it's just both. What I love about these movies is they're so rewarding on a second or third or fourth watch, just because you're getting more and more and more, because Ryan packs so many details. Like watching it again, I remember knowing everything. Like my fourth time watching Glass Onion, I was like, let me stop watching the plot and start watching the clues. So I'd watch Edward Norton and I'd watch him. Oh, that's where he's planting the gun. Oh, that's where he's putting in the pineapple juice. Like you could see it. And then, you know, the glass switch and how nobody can remember the glass switch. He straight up hands him the glass. It's just so subtle that you don't even realize.
Right. And the thing is, Rian Johnson's been doing this shit since Brick, right? Like fucking Brick, even the Brothers Blue, right? Which people fucking sleep on that fucking movie. I think that's, I think that's one of Mark Ruffalo's best
man,
performances.
Looper.
Honestly.
Like I remember after
Looper,
Brothers Bloom, because he came in for a Q&A for Brothers Bloom, and me and my friends, we went up to him and we're like, man, we love this. Like, oh, do you plan on doing like something like on a bigger budget? And he just goes, well, I have this time travel movie I want to do. And he told us the concept. We're all like, whoa, that sounds fucking amazing. And he's like, yeah, I want to get Bruce Willis to star in it. And I just got to figure out who I want to play the younger version of the character. And lo and behold, he did it. Like he got exactly who he wanted and what he wanted.
Right. So like, people sleep on fucking Looper, which is honestly one of the most like, you can't say accurate time travel movies, right? Because time travel doesn't exist, yada, yada, yada. But it's the most well thought out time travel movie.
That's what I love about now time travel is people realize that even from scientists, they're like, you can't go forward in time. You can only go back. So that's why you have stuff like Primer where they go back in time and not forward. Same with Looper. You can only go backwards in time in Looper. Tenet, you can't go forward. You can only go backwards.
Right. And let's not forget about Poker Face too.
Yeah. Another murder mystery.
Right? Right. If you haven't seen Poker Face, it is actually one of maybe 4 reasons to
Where
have
the
Peacock.
fuck is season 2? Maybe they're taking this sweet ass time on this. God damn, bro.
I mean, they could already be in production. They might be keeping that under wraps. We don't know.
But yeah, look, I have a feeling this won't be the last one. Like, I feel like we're gonna get more Benoit Blanc mysteries. I just hope, Ryan, you go somewhere else. Like, that's stupid to, like, the first Knives Out made worldwide $200 million. And it made half of that here in America. Like, I don't know why this shit ain't in theaters. Like, and I get it. Money talks, and I would have taken the money too. But like, man,
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what the price tag is.
They paid for those 2 movies. Netflix. The budget for both of them was $40 a piece, right? The budget, but they paid for the rights, which Rian Johnson and his producing partner had. The rights they paid $200 million. And I think Daniel Craig got either 1 or 2 for both of these movies. Either way,
for the new one, right? So they split that $200 million between the new one.
Yeah, for both for 2 movies, and same with Daniel Craig. Like, I think they paid him either 100 or 200 for both movies, and I'm just like, yo, y'all are just setting money on fire, bro. Like, I have a feeling like Daniel Craig, he would take a pay cut and be like, yeah, I'll do it because I like doing these movies and I like working with Ryan.
Right. Like, it shows his range, right? It's a franchise. And it keeps him relevant, right? Because he's no longer Bond, so he needs something. Right? And he's great. He's great as a character.
What I love is so far both movies are totally different from each other. Like, Knives Out and Glass Onion are 2 completely different movies, and I know this is going to be a totally completely different movie. And I'm excited. It looks like it's going to be a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, just like A Haunting in Venice was supposed to be a ghost story, whatever, like that. Yada yada yada. The best Agatha Christie, Poirot changed.
Yeah.
Like the setting
genre changed. The only thing that stayed the same was it was a murder mystery in a new genre.
Right. But and as bad as A Haunting in Venice was, and how kind of like scattershot these new Poirot films are, people love them for a reason. Right? So I would like to see Benoit Blanc for the next 20 years.
Man. Yeah. No offense to Kenneth Branagh, but like, if he was smart, he would just get Ryan to write and direct the next Poirot movie.
Yeah.
Because
but then again, Ryan might be a little gun shy because you saw what the Savages did to him on Star Wars.
Here's the thing. Now that this is done, like, this movie is going to finish out his contract, I have a feeling Kathleen Kennedy's going to pull his card and be like, so it's time for you to make this fucking trilogy we announced like 10 years ago.
Has it been? Was it 10 years ago?
They're going to back up the Brinks truck to his house to get him back. Like, the fact that Kathleen Kennedy loved working with him and wants him to come back. The fact that most people love The Last Jedi. Not everybody, but most people love it. And like, one of the 2 Star Wars movies that were good, besides Rogue One, right?
Right. Yeah, and the fact like Kathleen Kennedy is notorious for firing motherfuckers.
Yeah, the fact that
and he's still on the payroll.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Because she's like, yeah, he's just busy doing Knives Out. So as soon as he's done Knives Out, like, trust me, we're going to get him to do this trilogy. And I'm just like, all right, bro.
All right, just let a player play though. Just let's Just don't fuck with the sauce.
Right. So, anyways, let's get into our last bit of news. This was stated before that David Gordon Green wasn't coming back for Exorcist sequels. Well, now it's completely being rebooted by my guy Mike Flanagan, and I'm excited just because Mike Flanagan has proved time and time again he is a master of horror. Look,
Right.
Doctor Sleep to me is one of the best movies of the decade, and the fact that they made a sequel to The Shining that not only splits the difference between being a sequel to the book The Shining and then the movie The Shining, because Doctor Sleep, the book, from what I understand, I've never read the book, but I've heard a lot of people say like, the book is terrible, and then people went and saw the movie and it was like, oh, he took the book and readapted the book, because that's the storyline of the book, readapted it and made it a sequel to the movie The Shining. And it's so good to the fact that now fucking even Stephen King's like, oh yeah, I like this movie made me like Kubrick's Shining now. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, we were talking about this on the train yesterday. Doctor Sleep is so good that right after I watched the theatrical cut, I hunted down and watched the director's cut that same fucking night.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. Doctor Sleep is such a good movie that the director's cut adds, as far as quality, adds nothing. Storytelling, it adds a lot. But as far as quality, it's just as good as the theatrical cut. And that never happens because as I've said on this show, director's cut always better than the theatrical cut.
Most of the time. There's some,
Okay, yeah, so
Zack Snyder will always prove you
like
wrong.
the only thing I could think of, that dude and the Warriors.
I've never actually seen the director's cut of the Warriors.
Because he added in all this comic book shit, and there's comic book transitions and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
but anyways, Mike Flanagan is taking over the Exorcist, what do you want to say, franchise. He's taking it over, and he's confirmed to do
the Extraverse.
Yeah, he's confirmed to do 2 Exorcist movies for Universal, and not only that, but they're not going to be sequels to Exorcist Believer. It's going to be a hard reset, and I'm just like, oh, thank Christ.
Good. And look, I'm one of the few people who didn't hate Believer. I thought it had major fucking problems, but I kind of dug the idea of the Avengers of Exorcists, right? Like of all of these groups of exorcists from all these different denominations getting together to fight the devil. That was an interesting concept to me, right? But it's when it so fucking ham-fistedly tried to connect to the original movie that it fucking made me mad. The same thing with The First Omen. The First Omen, not nearly as egregious as Exorcist Believer with that shit, but still, the First Omen was a really, really fucking solid movie until you tried to do this fucking connect.
See, that shit didn't bother me as much as it did you.
It bothered me because it was done so poorly, right? There was a way to do it. There was a way to do it that was smarter, right? Because the whole entire movie was smarter than it was supposed to be, right? And like it was smarter than it was supposed to be. Like all that fucking misdirect, the first scene, that misdirect, that was masterful, right? And then to like when you get to the end. And it's just like the father saying, like the priest going, yeah, you had a son, his name is Damien. It just felt like
none of that bothered me. But anyways, I'm giving Mike Flanagan the benefit of the doubt just because Dr. Sleep, as good as it is from storytelling, performances, it's also a great looking movie. Like, not for nothing.
Yeah.
I like all of what Mike Flanagan has been doing on Netflix, but it has the problem with most Netflix shit. It looks good, but it still has that Netflix sheen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It looks
Yeah,
like TV.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
looks expensive but cheap at the same time, and that's not his fault because even The Irishman has the Netflix sheen.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm excited for Mike Flanagan. I'm excited for a hard reboot. Not even like a reboot, just like give me a new story. Just a
Yeah,
new story.
yeah.
And don't try to connect it to Reagan and her mother and blah. I don't need all that shit.
Yeah. They did some choices with what's her face? Ellen Burstyn, where I remember talking to other people. They're just like, why the fuck did they do that? That was just mean. I was like, yeah.
It was mean, and it didn't do
For the
anything
plot.
to
Yeah,
progress
yeah,
the story.
Exactly. It didn't,
And
and I
then,
get
like,
it, like that
yeah,
doing that sort of thing could add danger and stakes, but it didn't do that either.
right, but like here's the thing: if you had built up to it in the movie, then yeah. But then she shows up for like 5 minutes. We're supposed to care about her because she was in the other movie. She gets her and I'm sorry if I ruin it for you. She gets her fucking eyes gouged out.
Yeah, that it was just mean. Like I remember sitting there, I'm like, yo,
Right.
this is just mean.
And then she does nothing, right? Like
Because she can't, because she's an old ass woman who now has
Right.
no eyes. Honestly, that should have killed her because she's so old.
Right. Like that whole like you could have exercised that character. It would have affected nothing.
Yeah, because I really thought she was going to play in the plot of the actual exorcism itself, and
Right.
that's what I guess that's what Ann Dowd's character was for.
Yeah, I guess sure.
So yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
Mike
I'm
Flanagan.
excited. I'm excited for Mike Flanagan. I'm glad he's doing a movie again. You know, Doctor Sleep is on the list of movies that I can't believe actually got made, where the studio wasn't like, so can we get to the Overlook Hotel within like the first 30 minutes instead of like the last 20 minutes? That's wild. But yeah. Anyways, Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right. So, what have I been watching? Let's start with TV. On Netflix, there is this bullshit show called Eric about set in the 80s, because why not? About a puppeteer on a children's television workshop type Sesame Street type thing.
Right.
Whose son gets kidnapped or no, disappears. Doesn't get kidnapped, disappears. And it is the emotional breakdown of that father as he tries to find his son. That's the movie I described. That's the show I described to you. That is not the show that we got. What we got was 3 different really interesting TV shows that were all fucking ramrodded together and made no fucking sense at the end, right? So you got the show about the father who's an alcoholic, a drug addict, and stuff like that, creative genius who's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the story about the underground sex, child slavery / homeless fucking cabal. And then you have the gay cop living as a straight cop story.
Okay.
Right. 3 very good shows all put into this fucking thing, right? It is overacted, you know. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is doing his best, but like, all right, whatever, you know. I didn't care about the kid. I didn't care about the father. I didn't care about the gay cop. I didn't care about like the the social messages that they tried to shoehorn in there from the 80s that are still prevalent today. This is from a BAFTA award winner. So, yes, it is New York through the lens of someone from England, right? Like, it's too long. It doesn't know where it's going, right? And the end just like it made me fucking upset, right? Because it honestly took no chances. The show took no chances, and the whole entire idea of Benedict Cumberbatch's puppeteer character going slowly mad, and the character that he creates for his son following him around, fucking up the investigation, they don't do nearly enough with that, right? So there's a scene in the trailer where you see the puppeteer getting fucking high in a dance club, and he's got his fucking furry best friend with him. I wanted more of that shit, right? I got not nearly enough fucked up puppet demon nightmares, right? But I got a whole lot of showing the gay cop with his dying as AIDS boyfriend, which, like I said, great show on its own, right? All of these shows were great on their own. Then you fucking put this into a thing fucking called Eric, and then here you go. Oh, and by the way, everybody in 80s New York was either gay, undercover gay, in closet gay, or a pedophile. Apparently, because there's so many pedophile reveals.
Well,
in the show, so many.
Everybody getting their Drake on.
Like everybody's fucking. It's oh my god! Like characters who like. Why did you make him a pedophile?
Oh fuck! You know what, Jeff?
Yeah,
I forgot to add that to my AKAs.
What? What did you forget to add?
The true father of Joe, Kanye, and Drake's kids.
Oh man, you fucking self a basketball team. You collecting all these niggas' kids, getting all these checks.
Those checks clear though. You're like, yeah, we'll get you some new clothes with the next check. This check gotta go to some more pre-rolls, baby.
So yeah, that's fucking Eric. Watch it if you hate yourself. Watch it if you want to seem intelligent at dinner parties.
And you said this was on Netflix?
It's on Netflix, right? It's just one of those fucking prestige things, right?
This is why I'll never pay for Netflix until next year.
Yes.
Honestly, what are they going to do? Because I just realized Cobra Kai ends next year. Fucking, what's the other one? You ends next year. Stranger Things ends next year. And then the final Knives Out, for them at least, drops next year.
I mean, honestly, 2025 is the end of Netflix, honestly. It's like they better come up with something real good, real fast, because as soon as Stranger Things is off the air, like half y'all motherfuckers are just gonna be like,
well, you know, they got 3 spinoffs in the work, but I don't have the patience for this shit anymore.
Are you serious? They got 3 spinoffs?
Look, I'm. It's like Game of Thrones. I was just like, you know what? I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
Like everybody swears up and down House of the Dragon season 2 is amazing, but I'm just like, I don't got the patience for it.
Is it though? Is it? Because season 1 was that there were 3 episodes that were good. And I don't mean 3 individual episodes. If you cut up all of the good parts of that show and put them together, you might have gotten 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Of quality.
Look.
Yeah. So anyway, Eric, go fuck yourself. Eric. Die. Anyway, moving on from that. Moving on to another Netflix show that I haven't finished, but I find very interesting. Bodkin. It's about a podcaster, an investigative journalist, and their researcher who end up in this small town in Ireland investigating a mystery. and it's pretty funny. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty dark. It's getting weird. I'm only 3 episodes in, but it's once I have time, I'm actually going to push through. This is something I want to spend time on and like pay attention to, right? And some shows you just put on to say you watched, right? Some shows you want to actually pay attention to. Bakken is one of those shows I want to pay attention to.
You say he is an investigative journalist, and I'm just thinking, like, between All the President's Men, like, after All the President's Men, if I was an investigative journalist, I'd be like Tintin. Like, Tintin knows how to fight. Tintin carries a gun. And you know what Tintin is? He's a journalist. Like, that's all he does is just report on shit.
Yeah.
And this nigga knows how to fight and carries a gun.
They don't build them like they did in the 1930s.
Tintin is a children's character.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's from the 30s. Even the children's characters were hard back then.
Yo, listen. Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, everybody makes fun of Tintin because he's like this soft, sweet young man. I'm just like, I mean, the nigga knows how to scrap and he carries a gat. So I mean,
well, look,
I guess it's because they see the dog that they think he's soft. The dog and the cowlick. I don't know, man. If I see a nigga with a cowlick, I'm like, yeah, look, that's somebody you don't fuck with because nobody's wearing a cowlick nowadays. You know that's something wrong with that motherfucker.
Just like the one white dude, like in a group of black dudes, you don't want to fuck with that motherfucker. You don't fuck with the fucking kid with a cowlick and looks like he's a newsboy from the 20s.
Yo, I'm saying, man, I'm like, yo, if I was an investigative journalist, I'd be like, I'd straight up tell my boss, be like, yeah, so I'm bringing my gun to this just in case some shit goes down. This is where I'm at. Call 911 if I ain't back within 2 hours.
Hey, look, they don't build journalists like they used to.
Yo, I'm saying, man. Fuck, now I gotta go back and rewatch All the President. I'm gonna watch that shit again. You know what? I need to do another double feature. I'm gonna rewatch both All the President's Men and JFK.
Oh, that's gonna blow your fucking mind. Like you're gonna be talking in riddles, fucking scared of your shadow. Everything's a conspiracy. So Bakken on
be
Netflix.
Like Dave Chappelle from Undercover Brother. Conspiracy brother.
You know they made a sequel to Undercover Brother?
I heard. And I heard it's trash.
I watched it. I tried to watch it. I looked at it.
Is Eddie Griffin in it?
No. They got like a Wish.com. It might have been Michael Jai White. I think
you fucked up when you can't even get Eddie Griffin back for your fucking sequel.
Look, Eddie Griffin's in my favorite worst movie all time, Blast. If you have not seen Blast, it is Die Hard on an oil rig with Eddie Griffin.
Yeah, because Eddie Griffin did a movie called Double Take with Orlando Jones. The movie's terrible, but I love it.
Oh yeah, that's like that was the Black Midnight Run, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then he also did they're terrible movies, but the Deuce Bigelow movies, them shits crack me up.
Yeah, I mean, look,
before Rob Schneider lost his fucking mind.
It doesn't have to be good for you to enjoy it. I get it. It doesn't have to be good.
Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo, and then Deuce Bigelow, European gigolo. They said if the second one was successful, it would have been Deuce Bigelow, Japanese gigolo.
I was surprised that the first one was successful enough to get a second one. Like, oh man. So I don't even know where how did I get on the fucking this? What was I even fucking talking about?
Oh, he's talking about investigative journalism.
Oh, investigative journalists. All right. So, Bakken on Netflix. I'm gonna watch the rest of it and I'll report. But like, I'm liking what I see so far. Moving on.
If any newspapers listening to this, you need an investigative journalist. Yo, hire me. Just know though, I come strapped.
Oh shit. Oh, that's right. That's how we got on this. We talked about Conspiracy Brother, and then we started talking about, and then from there, the sequel to Undercover Brother, which they couldn't get Eddie Griffith for because he had too much integrity.
Which is wild. That's wild. He did Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
Right, but
He
he
was in
didn't.
both of those.
But he wouldn't do the sequel to his own goddamn movie. Well, then Michael Jai White. Hey,
I mean, he was down and out bad for a minute, though.
what? Michael like what? Eddie Griffith or Michael Jai White?
Michael Jai White. Because after he was on a roll in the 90s, and then once he did Spawn, like that was it for him for a minute. And then Nolan saved him.
Oh, that's right. He was in fucking
Gamble.
Yeah, yep.
Show you a magic trick. Ta-da!
Everyone forgets. Like, look, so people forget that Michael Jai White was an actual actor.
Yeah, man. Look, Nolan and Tarantino are the two biggest ones who rescue people's careers, right? Because Nolan rescued Matthew Modine's career, rescued Rutger Hauer's career before he passed. He rescued Josh Hartnett's career, which is wild because I was just like, damn, I can't even believe Josh Hartnett can act.
Yeah, I've never not liked Josh Hartnett. I was just watching the other day. I'm not gonna talk about it today, but Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Look, everybody was in Black Hawk Down. Let me just talk about fucking. All right, let me just talk about.
I mean, that's one of Nolan's heroes is Ridley Scott. So,
I mean, it's one of everybody's heroes. I mean, come on. So let me just move on. Outlaws. It's on Amazon. I've talked about this show before. It's about the fucking community service workers who stumble upon a bunch of drugs and get into the drug game and cover up murders. This is the third season. It exists. It's not nearly as interesting or fun as the first two seasons. This just seems like okay, let's kind of finish up this series, this story, but even though they kind of finished it up in the second season, but whatever. It's fun, it's flighty, it's the antithesis of Bodkin, where you can just have this shit on, right? And you can listen to it and you can look every once in a while and you'll get the same feeling from it. It's light and flighty. Episodes are a half hour. It's fucking 6 episodes, so you can finish it in half an afternoon. The Outlaws.
So you that was on Amazon.
Yeah.
While you were on there, did you finally watch Outer Range?
Nah, man. I like those ones. I want to sit down and watch Outer Range, right? So like, I think I'm gonna start just going weekend by weekend, network by network, right?
Yeah, dog. Because Paramount last night they sent me another free month of Paramount Plus. I'm like, I'm gonna activate that bitch next week.
They sent me a free month last night too, and I was like, give me some time to get a couple more episodes of Mayor of Kingstown.
Well, just so you know, it expires in a week, so that's why I'm like, all right, Thursday morning, I'm gonna activate it.
They'll give me, at least give me 4 episodes in. It'll be fine. All right, moving on from that, going to movies. Finally saw Boy Kills World. Yeah,
I told you.
Look,
You don't give a fuck about anything or anything going on, and then the reveal just comes way too late in the game.
right. Like the reveal is obvious. And the thing is, I was going to give this a pass because I thought it was based on a much better comic book, right? But then to find out this was an original idea, I was like, oh, so you got someone to give you money for this?
Yeah. Apparently, the first cut of the movie didn't have H. John Benjamin's voiceover. And it tested so poorly that people were so just confused that they had to do it. They had to add in that voiceover.
But like, here's the thing. I think I would have preferred if it wasn't H. John Benjamin.
Yeah. Who would have worked? Like, it would have been cool if it was Keith David or something.
Yeah, something like I actually, can we get a director's cut with that? With just
Yeah.
Keith David? I think
Yeah.
that should be the new fucking internet game, right? Like people just doing their own voiceovers for Boy Kills World. And here's the thing, the action is fucking hard, right?
In the last act, because like throughout, I was just like, yeah, it's fine.
Right. But like that last fight,
Yeah, that shit was nice.
that last half hour was like, all right, now we're getting into it.
It picked up for me once he first fights his sister. Like when he first
Right.
fights his sister, I was like, oh wow, it's finally like the action's finally hitting.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like when I was first watching it, I really, really disliked it. Right. And then as the movie went on, I started to soften. And then by the end it's like, all right, I didn't hate the movie. Right. I just wish I enjoyed it much better. Right. With some changes, this could have been, it's not an all-timer, but it could have been one of those movies that you kind of talked about, like in a positive light at a dinner party. It's like, oh, did you see Boy Kills World? It was kind of fun.
And you know what? I like Mustafa, and I'm glad to see him in movies and not Old Spice ads. But his character was not funny.
Right, the kept on with the fucking
the gibberish.
The gibberish.
Balls. Like when I saw that with the audience, they all laughed. I'm like, y'all, it's not that fucking funny.
Right, and the joke, you had two chances with that joke, right?
And they kept doing it.
Right?
Every
and
chance they got.
Right, it was like you had two opportunities where that. All right, I get it. The rest of it, like, yeah. Look, it is what it is. If you like people, if you like fighting and guns and shit like that, and you don't want to take your shit too serious.
Like the best thing about that movie is Andrew Koji and Jessica Ralph. Like, I'd rather watch them two in an action movie.
Right.
And seeing Andrew Koji, I'm just like, yo, just bring Warrior back.
And like, and he looked so different in this that I had to like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Is that Andrew Koji? Is that fucking the nigga from guy?
Snake Eyes.
I don't can't fuck it up. G.I. Joe Origins. Snake Eyes.
No, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins.
Oh, see, I fucked it up.
Yo, and you know what? The fun, you know your movie sucks when a joke is so telegraphed, and I still laugh though, and it's only one joke, and you know which one I'm talking about.
Which one? What are we talking about?
Where he's like,
with the anvil.
Yeah, where he's holding on to the carbiner and he can't hold on to it.
Right, but that's in the fucking trailer. Like they gave.
I don't remember that shit.
So that was in the trailer. That's even worse. They gave that away in the trailer.
That was the best joke in the movie, even though it was so telegraphed. Like as soon as he picked it up, I'm like, oh, he's gonna drop that on that nigga's head.
Skinny
and I still laughed. Yeah, I still laughed, but like, that's when you know your movie sucks.
Like,
and I'm like, yo, like, there's no need for the Crow because we got this, and like the Crow is gonna be the same exact thing, just more serious. And I'll be real with you, I'm not trying to see a more serious version.
Everybody looked like they were having fun doing this, except for the audience. I didn't have fun until halfway through. But look, your mileage may vary.
Man,
Boy Kills World.
They've down bad because that's a Lionsgate joint.
Right. It's the H. John Benjamin for me. Like that really, like I've got enough Archer. I've got enough Bob's Burger. I don't need like any other voice. Any other fucking voice.
And not for nothing, I was really impressed with Jessica Ralph just because I didn't know she could do that. Because I just know her from fucking the Happy Death Day movies. So seeing her do all this action and it's really her actually doing that shit, I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
and I still have to watch those Happy Death Day movies because I hear they're good.
I don't like the first one, but I like the second one a lot because the second one is just fucking insane.
Do I have to watch the first one to enjoy the second one?
Yes.
All right. God damn it. All right. Yeah.
God damn it. Let them do the third one. God damn it. Like, I want that third one to happen so bad. I don't understand why the first one was a hit and then the second one, everybody's like, no, thank you.
That's because horror fans are fickle. So moving on. Black Hawk Down. I talked about it earlier. There's not much to say about Black Hawk Down.
Fucking rules.
I love this fucking movie. That's why I've watched it 15 times. That's why that's why it was just it happened to be on after something else. It's like, fuck it, yeah, Black Hawk Down.
Not this previous Black Friday, but the Black Friday before it.
Right.
I got that shit on 4K for $8.
See, that's you stole that shit. You stole it, right? Black Hawk Down, arguably one of the best modern war films ever.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I remember going to see it in theaters and I thought it was going to be like, okay. Like, the only reason I wanted to see it is because I wanted to get out the house and there was nothing else playing. And I went opening weekend and I just remember 30 minutes in, I'm like, damn, Ridley Scott really did this shit. Because, like, you know, the trailers make it look like some, like, cheesy. It looks like those cheesy, inspirational faith-based films we get now.
Yeah.
And then you see the movie, you're like, damn, dog, this shit is nothing but combat.
And, like, the fucking movie was nothing but a feeder program for young up-and-coming British actors, right? Like,
yeah.
Every time I watch that fucking movie, I'm like, oh shit, I fucking forgot that he was in it, or he was in it, or he was in it. Fucking Tom fucking Hardy is in it. I forgot Tom Hardy was in it.
I mean, Danny straight up stole a shot from this movie and put it in Dune. Like, he even said, he's like, yeah, I stole that shit from Black Hawk Down. Like, everybody keeps saying, like, oh, you're amazing for that shot. And I'm like, dog, Ridley Scott did that shit.
Which one are we talking about?
When they're going to the palace in the first movie, after they land and they get in the ornithopters and they fly.
Right.
There's a shot of two of them flying, and then one glides across the camera in front of the other two.
Oh yeah, that's when they that's the first half hour when they're doing the fucking march towards the square, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there's two of the helicopters and then one passes in front of the first two. I didn't realize it till I didn't think, like, people hyped that shot up a lot, and I was like, yeah, it's a cool shot. But then I didn't even put it together till Denny said it. He's like, yeah, I straight up stole that shit from Black Hawk Down. Like, I don't know why y'all are losing your minds over this shit. Yeah. I'm like, because nobody fucking gives a fuck anymore. That's why.
Yeah. So if you have not seen Black Hawk Down, do yourself a favor, watch this film. And if you have seen Black Hawk Down, it's about time you watch it again. Because honestly, it's one of those movies you watch every 2 years.
I don't know what the difference is between the regular cut and the extended cut, though.
I don't. I mean, the regular cut is still 2.5 hours, so I can only imagine what the extended cut.
Yeah, because I watched the extended cut, and I was just like, I couldn't tell you what's new.
I mean, you'd have to watch it. The screen is, two screens at the same time. But yeah, Black Hawk Down. You should watch it. Moving on from that, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Guy Ritchie. I enjoyed it. It's as if Inglourious Bastards was fun.
All right, so now you see what I mean by this shit had the moment that made me crack up laughing with Henry Cavill. Because that's just this dickhead thing to do. And the thing that makes it funny is that shit's all in slow motion.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. If it's on again, I'll watch it. I'm never going to search for this.
Yeah.
Right? To like, oh yeah, let me put on the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is a movie that if it happens to be on, you won't change the channel. Right?
It's going to be one that pops up on streaming and I'll play it in the background, watch my favorite parts, and then keep doing my laundry.
Yeah. That's that kind of movie. It's not bad. It's not great. It's enjoyable, and that's all we can ask for sometimes.
The problem is like they got great actors, and all of them in an action movie together. We're all like, oh fuck yeah! But the problem is they're all the same fucking character, so eventually they just bleed into each other.
I can't tell,
you can't tell the difference.
Right. It was like, all right, you all like murder a lot.
Yeah, and they're all crazy.
Right. But like, you're really good at explosives. Okay, I get that. But then so is he. He is also good and very well versed in the explosive arts.
Like the only quirk that stood out that I remember is Alan Richardson loved
and then
you.
bow and arrow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. He's got a character. He's got a bow and arrow, and he's big.
And Henry Cavill's also big, but he's the leader.
But he doesn't have an arrow. He's big, but see? Nuance.
They all bleed into each other.
Henry Cavill doesn't have a bow and arrow.
Henry Golding doesn't say much, and he's there killing people.
Right. But he's the explosive guy, but also Alan Richardson, he also does explosives.
Like, the only one who has any trace of a personality is Babs Winodadu.
Oh, yeah, the who did he play?
He was on the side mission with the chick. That's all I know.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I can remember. He was on the side mission with.
Yeah, I mean, he's always good though. He's always good. And like the German, like
Till Schweiger.
Till Schweiger, for one thing, Till Schweiger, fucking COVID hit him hard, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a Hugo Stiglitz.
No,
anymore.
sir. No, sir.
Not in a bad way. He's just like, oh, you aged. But even he was like a non-threat. Like, how do you have a non-threatening
villain,
non-menace-filled Nazi?
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird too, because I was just like, they're Nazis, but they're hanging out in Jamaica, and they're not enslaving or killing these black people.
Well, yeah. Well, I get that, because international waters, and they were just they were worried about Europe first. They'd get to the rest of the world later. So they let the brown people have the brown things for now. You know, they're trying to kill other white people and Jews and gays.
Yeah.
And other people. But yeah, they were worried about Europe first.
Yeah.
So, Ministry of Ungenderly Warfare. And the last movie I'm going to talk about is an indie movie called The Last Pit Stop in Yuma County. It is a crime suspense movie that takes place in one location, which is the last stop, pit stop in Yuma County. It's effective enough. You know exactly how this fucking thing's going to play out. It's the fun in watching how it plays out, right? It's got a real 70s, 80s vibe to it, even though it was shot last year. It's got some really effective use of camera work, slow pans, pushes. It's as if Hitchcock and Tarantino did a movie together and then both quit the movie at the same time. And then, like, the first AD stepped in to finish it, right? It's because it's got elements of Tarantino. It's got elements of, it's heavy Hitchcock influenced. It's weird. No, not weird. It's quirky. It kept me engaged throughout the whole entire thing, even though I've seen this type of movie a million times. And I love this kind of movie. I love, like, a one location, whole bunch of people held hostage type shit. Like, I really do. I love that shit. So if you get a chance, Last Pit Stop in Yuma County, it's on Amazon. Give it a watch. And that is it for me. What have you been watching lately?
So I'm gonna get into TV first, and my TV's been real light. I'll start with the Acolyte. Solid first 2 episodes. They do something in the first scene that I didn't expect them to do, and from there on, that really subverts expectations. So I'm surprised that people are more receptive of expectations being subverted here than it was in The Last Jedi.
Oh, now I really can't wait to watch this shit.
It's only 40 minutes each episode, so it's short. You know what I mean? Shouldn't have taken this long to get fucking Kung Fu with the Force, but like I like the mystery that's going on here too.
Right.
Amandala, I'm not gonna say much about her character because I didn't know what they were doing until the show started. Like I thought she was playing one character and like the main character was going to be somebody else. So the fact that she is the main character and they're doing something I didn't completely see coming, I was just like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing.
I'm glad Star Wars every once in a while starts to actually play with this playground that they have, this sandbox, and start having some fun with some shit.
Yeah, and it takes place during the High Republic, and the High Republic was like the golden age of the Jedi, where it was peace and prosperity throughout the galaxy. So, like, basically 400, 500 years before Episode 1.
Okay. Episode
And
1
now
or...
it's showing the rise of the dark side, basically.
All right. Let's see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Something interesting.
So, I'm excited to get to the Wookiee Jedi, because we haven't gotten to him yet. So that is the Acolyte. The first 2 episodes. My Adventures with Superman has come back, and these first 3 episodes are pretty fucking cool. They managed to do exactly what they were trying to do with Lex Luthor and BVS here so much better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Suicide Squad really fucked shit up for Superman in these first 3 episodes. Like Amanda Waller, they make it clear like she's a piece of shit. Like, you know, Amanda Waller's always been a villain, but like this show, I'm just like, yo, this bitch gotta die.
All right. Shit.
I mean, season 2.
I mean, you were hyping it up for season 1, so like I just haven't had a chance to get on the bus yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of this season plays out. Moving on, last bit of TV I'm gonna talk about is I finished the JINX Part II, and this shit I was like, how can this continue if homie went to prison? And it shows you the trial, basically how he perjured himself in the prison, because this nigga's just, for a dude who got away with murder 4 times, he is stupid.
He's the worst criminal. It's like everything he does is like daring people to catch him.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know, there's a thing called Miranda rights, where the first thing they say is you have the right to remain silent, and this nigga does everything but that.
Right.
Same thing. The first episode where we talked about it, where I was just like, dude, you're part of you and your family are some of the richest in the world. You could have easily bought a private jet and just flew to a non-extradited country and had somebody wire you some money to some fucking offshore account and got that.
Meanwhile, you're just fucking putting on masks, getting on rowboats and shit like that. It's like, really?
Yeah, I was just like, why would you take an extended road trip through the country to get to a boat to Cuba?
Right. Just like,
at that point, you might as well go to Mexico and disappear in Mexico.
It's like, you're rich, dog. Be
like,
rich.
Come on, man. You know how many people have, even though Mexico is an extradition country, so many people have disappeared in Mexico because it's Mexico?
Or just go to Mexico and then leave your non-extradition country from there.
Exactly.
Right?
You could have paid some dude like, what, 10,000 pesos, which is like, what, here? Like $1,000? Maybe $500? Could have paid him that much and got in a little fucking jet over somewhere nice in Europe. Fucking idiot. Look,
so, yeah.
The last episode really drove the point of this whole season home, which is, why were these people shielding Robert Durst? And it's the last episode's wild. Last episode's also wild because it opens where, you know, he's found guilty, and as soon as he's found guilty, he dies because he couldn't handle being in prison for the rest of his life. And because he died and he didn't get to appeal, all of his convictions were overturned.
Oh, word. I haven't watched the last episode, but like I could look it up. I could look up the court case. But wow. So even in death, this motherfucker wins.
So and still winning, because this last episode is wild. Like the last episode, I'm just like, wow, all of it, like even everybody around you is a piece of shit. Like even like
money, man. Like fucking money will buy you a lot of loyalty.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's exactly what it bought him. You'll see. I ain't gonna say nothing else, but you'll see.
All right.
All right, let's move into movies. So I'm going to get into I rewatched, since the last time we talked about it, Furiosa 2 more times.
Mm.
Saw it in IMAX and I saw it in Dolby. And I went to see it in the Dolby in Times Square, which is probably one of the biggest Dolby screens. Well, one of the biggest screens on the East Coast, because that screen is huge. That shit was loud as a motherfucker.
I mean, yeah, when we went to our screening at Warner's, even in that theater, it's like that shit was shaking me.
Like, dog, that shit, holy shit. Like, Jeff, I am not shitting you. Like, that shit was OD loud.
Yeah, I mean, it's by design. And I've been saying this online for the last 2 weeks, and I'll continue to say it. You people, yeah, I'm pointing to you people who have not gone out to the movie theater to watch this as it should be seen, you're fucking up.
Yeah, because now we ain't gonna get Mad Max The Wasteland or the other 2 other movies he had planned after Mad Max The Wasteland. I don't know, man. It's a shame. It's a shame. And it's weird how people are reacting to this too. Like a lot of people are just like, well, it's not Fury Road. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It was never gonna be Fury Road. Fury Road was too good of a movie to replicate again.
Right? Like, and everyone's always clamoring for prequels, right? Oh, I want a prequel. George Miller gives you an excellent prequel, right? And you still don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's weird because everybody's like, it's so different. And I'm like, every Mad Max movie is different from the previous one. Like none of them are no 2 Mad Max movies are the same. So I don't know what people were looking for here.
And like here's the thing. You look at the first Mad Max movie, that's a goddamn drama.
Yeah.
Right? Like what do you expect? Like everyone, like you said, changes.
God damn it. Anyways, moving on, because that shit breaks my heart. And like again, this is partially, it's on the audience, but it's also basically on the studios, because y'all fucked yourselves with streaming and shoving shit to streaming so quickly, even though your bread and butter is home video sales and theatrical. That's where all your bread and butter is. And that and the strikes. Like the strikes fucked y'all up too. And this is why we're in the position we're in now.
And like you're like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call out the audience. The audience is the reason that I was not able to watch The Fall Guy as it should have been seen on a large screen in the middle of fucking summer.
Yeah. I mean, but also that's Universal's fault, because even though it had a bad opening, its holds from weekend to weekend have been so good, and they might have made their money back if they had just let it play, because now it's going to end around 90 to 95 million, which is so much more than when it opened. It opened at 30, it was like 28 or 35, something like that. I think it was 28. It opened at 28 and is going to finish at 95. That's one fucking hell of a multiplier. Imagine how much more money they would have made if they had not shoved it to streaming so fast.
Right. And we had this conversation yesterday. Like, give movies a chance to spread their legs.
Yeah.
And make some fucking money and get an audience.
Right? Because I pointed this out. Avatar 2 opened. It opened to 60 million. Everybody's like, see, we told you. we told you nobody cares about Avatar anymore. And I was like, you know what? Let's see how it does in weekend 2 and 3. I remember saying that. I was like, let's see how it does in weekend 2 and 3. And it overperformed and actually went up.
Yeah.
The box office, y'all are just used to now having movies open at 100 or 200 million. And y'all forget the box office ain't a sprint. It's a race. Like, it is in it for the long game.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I digress. I'll let you get back to it. Sorry.
All right, moving on. On Disney Plus, they had a Queen concert called Queen Rock Montreal. It's cool. It's cool. Like, I'm not too huge of a Queen fan, but it was cool to see it.
It's archival footage, or is it actual
It's
real
an actual
like
concert.
Okay.
When they played at some arena in Montreal. Like, they actually shot the whole concert.
Oh, okay.
It's an hour and a half. And they open with We Will Rock You and close with We Will Rock You. So the first time they perform it, it's like a metal version. It's like super fast metal version, and then they close out with the version we all know.
All right.
Yeah, though, but look, I ain't mad I watched it just because Queen also, I keep forgetting Queen also did one of the blackest songs ever made. You know what I mean? I can't be mad at it. You know, Another One Bites the Dust. That's one of the blackest songs ever made. Like, every time I hear that shit, I want to play with guns.
I mean, fucking Freddie Mercury was Egyptian, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's blackish.
Right. So, moving on. On the Criterion Channel, before it left last month, I was able to finally see Sofia Coppola's 1999 debut feature, The Virgin Suicides, based off the novel of the same name. And if you had told me this was based on a true story, I would have believed you. It is very much a psychological drama. I thought it was just going to be a normal, regular drama, and it is so ethereal and surreal at points. I'm like, the fuck? I understand why people did think this was based off a true story, because the way it's framed and narrated, it's crazy. Also, another movie where I was like, oh, damn, Josh Hartnett can act.
I've actually never seen The Virgin Suicides.
So it's 3 movies. There's 4 movies by Sofia Coppola I like. It's On the Rocks. That's the movie she did with Rashida Jones, Bill Murray, and Marlon Wayans.
Didn't that come out just like 2 years ago? Or some shit like that?
That came out right at the pandemic
Yeah.
on Apple TV. Priscilla, Marie Antoinette, and now this. We could add Virgin Suicides to that. Everything else, I'm not too big of a fan of with hers. Like, people even like, you don't fuck with Lost in Translation? No, I don't fuck with that.
Like, I get it. I fuck with Lost in Translation, but I get why people would. I get it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Virgin Suicides, man. The author of the book, and this is how good this book is. Like, she read the book and she was just like, reading that book made her want to become a film director, because she was like, that was the first time I've read a novel where I could clearly see it. And the dude who wrote the book said, he's like, oh yeah, I love the movie. My only thing about the movie is I wish Sophia had the girls be portrayed by different actresses in every scene, because he thinks of the girls as specters rather than actual people. And I was like, that would have made it a lot more creepier and a lot more surreal. And I get what he's saying, because they're already like ghost-like figures in the movie.
All right. Let me see what I can do about tracking this shit down. That sounds interesting.
I got cop this. I got Criterion. I'm gonna cop next time you have a sale. Let me know. I'll cop the 4K Blu-ray, because like it's an hour and a half and it moves. But damn, Josh Hartnett's character is also a fucking scumbag in this motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Rewatch the first 3 Bad Boys movies. Bad Boys 1 is the one I like the least. Just because it gets to stretches where I'm like, yo, this is boring as a motherfucker. And you could just feel Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, and Michael Bay trying to make a movie out of this fucking lame ass script. I hate the fucking identity switch bullshit.
Right.
Mark
Okay.
Hellenberger, who I love, she's in here as a shrill internal affairs investigator, and I'm just like, not for nothing, I was on her side because watching these movies, I'm like, yo, Mike Lowry should be in prison, bro. He is a psychopath, especially in Bad Boys 2. I'm like, this nigga needs to be in prison. Like, he's so toxic that Martin Lawrence is going to therapy. Even Joe Pantoliano as Captain Howard, even he's going to therapy because they both can't handle this nigga's bullshit. And he makes fun of them for going to therapy. He's like, yeah, they're crazy. That's why they're in therapy. And I'm just like, God damn, you are a disgusting human being.
And, I mean, that's why they give him the nickname Trigger Mike,
Yeah, yo, I'm saying, man, like, Mike Lowry is he is a cop through and through. Like, when people talk shit about cops, you could just point at Mike Lowry and be like, yeah, that's what we mean.
And, I have my own, I love Bad Boys just because I'm a Michael Bay apologist. I love 2, especially because it's experiential. It's the last film I saw with my mom in the movie theater before she passed. So, right. So we talked about this before. Movies are experiential sometimes, right? I can recognize that it is a mean, angry fucking movie.
Yeah, because I saw that in the theater, and there was probably like 3 white people in the theater. And Jeff, this is when AMC Hamilton was still open, so we're on one of those big ass. You know how they have the 4 main screens? I was on one of those. That motherfucker was full, and everybody in there was black except for 2 white people.
Yeah, I mean, look, the movie's cathartic, right? Like, I will give you like the Bad Boy series. Like, it is escapist fantasy, violent, sort of like taking it into my own hands, sort of retribution. Like, this is the way it should be. Exciting, like it's dumb Miami Vice, and I love it for that.
So Bad Boys 2. It took me 10 times to make it all the way through just because I kept falling asleep. Like, this shit, if somebody asked me what America was, I'd say, go watch Bad Boys 2. That's America. Bad Boys 2 might be the most hateful, spiteful, disgusting film ever made. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody told me, like, oh, that is one of my favorite movies of all time, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. I get it. But, like, it is repugnant, and every frame of that movie is just the pinnacle of excess and bad taste. Like, very rarely do I watch movies and think like, oh, too much money was spent. Bad Boys 2, I'm like, yo, y'all spent way too much money on this shit. Especially the car chase. Like, the car chase, as cool as it is, I'm just like, dog, this is a movie about 2 cops, and we have a car chase that could be from a fucking superhero movie. And once that car chase is done and they get reamed out by Captain Howard, any normal person would be like, yo, you guys have to give me your badges and get the fuck out of here. There's no way, like, he's just gonna sit down and be like, yeah, look, I'm getting chewed the fuck out, so I'm gonna chew you guys out. No way. Those 2 would be fired.
And look, I'm not going to argue at all because those are great fucking points. But still, it's like, this is my black moment, like, it's Bad Boys though. It's Bad Boys.
But it is racist. It is homophobic.
Yeah.
There's just shit in this where I'm just like, but why? And most of it has nothing to do with nothing. Like, the cadaver, I was just like, yo, come on, y'all. Like,
I mean,
even Michael Bay can't even help himself with cadavers. You gotta have a girl with big tits in this shit.
Look, I am a Michael Bay apologist. The only thing that has always bothered me throughout this whole entire series is how, like, hood Mike Lowry tries to be, right? like hearing Will Smith use slang the
Like,
way he
dog,
does.
I got this for you, dog.
So if you want to get Brody with me, it's like, bro, what?
Yeah, I still
Like
don't know what that means today.
I was like, okay, Will, I love you, but also you can. Martin Lawrence isn't talking like that.
Yeah, Mike Lowry's a piece of shit, bro. I feel bad for Marcus because like Marcus, he's a fuck up too. But like at least he's just like, bro, can we just not kill any? He says this in the first two movies. He's like, can we just not kill anybody today? Can we just be cops? Can we just if it gets to it, can we just arrest somebody? Like I don't know what it is with you and your bloodlust. And I'm just like, yeah, like I I'll say this about the first one. The first Bad Boys, there's shots in there where I'm like, oh yeah, like, damn, what the fuck happened to you, Michael Bay? Like, even the first movie showed restraint. And like, it's wild that the first movie they blow up a whole airport hangar, and I'm just like, wow, that seems very tame compared to
Right. That whole
two. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck, dog. Why? Look, the reason why Michael Bay didn't come back for Bad Boys 3 and 4 is just because they weren't going to give him the budget that he wanted to make these. And it's just like, yeah, dude, because after Bad Boys 2 and the returns from Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 2 was successful, but not as successful as Sony hoped it would be. Like,
Right.
I remember the disappointment when that opening weekend rolled around. And it's just like, I remember thinking at the time, like, guys, it's a sequel to a movie that's like 15 years old,
right,
and like y'all spent mad money on it, and it's rated R. Like, of
right.
course.
And here's the thing: they made the first one for nothing.
Yeah, man.
That was cheap as shit because
Yeah,
they
it was
didn't
like
care
40
about
or
it.
50 million.
Right? They like I was watching something the other day. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith weren't even supposed to be those cops. It was like John Lovitz.
Yeah, because Martin Lawrence was casted first, and then they got Will Smith just because Martin Lawrence was like, yeah, I like this dude Will Smith and his show Fresh Prince. Can we try him out and see if we could get him? Because remember, at the time, Martin Lawrence was the bigger star than Will Smith.
Remember a day in time? Like, you probably don't because I'm old as shit. But where Martin Lawrence was actually a bigger star than Will Smith.
Martin, I used to watch that show as a kid. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
That shit is also, though, problematic because there's shit in Martin where I'm just like, ooh, boy.
I've started rewatching Martin. I think we talked about this, too. Like, yeah, for everything that it took, that it took the strides when it came to how Black people perceive comedy, it is also very, 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 very problematic.
Yo, man, listen, Martin does have a fire theme song, though.
Right, he's got a fire theme. And sometimes those episodes got just real weird and abstract.
Yeah, because like, weird. Like also the character he kept cross-dressing as.
Shanae?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, he loved dressing up. Fucking Shanae, who was the kung fu master.
Yo, it's like I was talking to Millie where I finally told her I saw Killing of Sacred, not Killing of Sacred, Magical Negroes.
Right.
And we started talking about David Alan Grier. I was like, yeah, I remember when David Alan Grier was Homie the Clown. And I was like, I was surprised she knew that. And I was just like,
David Alan Grier wasn't Homie the Clown. I thought that was one of the Wayans brothers.
Okay, maybe it was, but he was on In Living Color.
Yeah,
no,
he was
that shit still cracks me up though.
Yeah, no, he was.
Don't play that.
You know, that was Damon Wayans. What he was you remember Men on Film?
Yeah.
Oh, you cannot get. Oh my God, I watched a clip of Men on Film a couple of weeks ago. I had to turn it off. I felt bad. I felt guilty for even ever having laughed at that.
Look, nigga, I watch clips of Homie the Clown. That shit still cracks me up. Like, now I want to dress up as a clown and smack the shit out of people.
Yeah, but
Homie don't play that.
Yeah, I mean, Homie's one thing, but like Men on Film was like the two snaps and that's real.
But yeah, Bad Boys 2, man, like, there's a shot in Bad Boys 1 where they're driving away from a bridge, and in the background you see a cruise ship go by, and I was like, God damn, where's this Michael Bay at? And Bad Boys 2, like, look, I won't deny it. Like, the shot of the car going over Martin Lawrence's head is still fucking hard, but like, damn, bro, like they were throwing actual cars at them. I'm just like, dog, y'all making an action comedy. Like, there's no need for this shit. And like, the only villain, like, I will say this, because now I'm gonna move on to Bad Boys 3. And Bad Boys 3, and I'll get into reasons why in the main review, but Bad Boys 3, which is Bad Boys for Life, is still my favorite of the series, just because it's the one that finally grew up, where the one was like, Mike, you gotta fucking grow up. Where Captain Howard's even like, yo, dude, when is enough?
Right.
He's like, we're all old now, and you're still acting like you're fucking 12. Grow up. And, you know, there's some weight to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bad Boys 3 had some weight to it. It was a Michael Bay film without all the shitty Michael Bay stuff with it.
Yeah.
Like, Bad Boys 2, it came a point where there was just nothing but the camera going under the dresses and getting crotch shots of all these women. And that is, even before that, we're going through air ducts and through ecstasy, and I was just getting physically ill watching this because the camera would not stop fucking moving. And even the opening credits of Bad Boys 2 with the new metal, I was like, damn, this is early 2000s as shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even the font on Bad
Yeah.
Boys 2, like that.
Yeah, that's early
that
2000s. Like,
that
they had the
pressed
new metal.
Yeah.
I was just like, Jesus Christ, this movie aged terribly. The only thing that has aged good from that movie is Gabrielle Union, because she is hot then and she's still hot now. So Dwayne Wade, if you fuck that shit up, just know, nigga, I'm in the bushes lurking. But yeah, Bad Boys 3, it's the only one I can say I fully love.
Okay.
Yeah,
all valid. I can't even I'm not even gonna try to pick up a counter argument, because I recognize you were correct on all of these facets, right?
Yeah, and I'm saying, man, because Bad Boys 2 is 2.5 hours. I'm like, dog, there's no reason this movie should be this fucking long. And the plot itself even gets lost in its own shit, where like I feel like the characters stop and just like, wait, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, they're just doing shit. And despite all of that, I still love this fucking series, right?
Which is wild that I'm saying that about Bad Boys 2, because I'm like, Bad Boys 2 is more coherent as a plot than it is Bad Boys 1, where literally Bad Boys 1, you could feel them struggling to make that shit work.
Yeah, it's set piece after set piece. Is like, let's throw the story in between.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Sort of make this make sense, yeah.
So, anyways, everything else I'm going to talk about is in the main review, so let's get into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action!
It's time for some trailer talk.
Alright, let's get into the Dave Bautista trailer. I can't even remember the name of that shit. Kill something?
Wait, wait, hold on. Because I literally watched it right before I hopped on. What was it called? Kill Me. Don't fucking kill a duck.
Yeah, I am struggling, dude.
The
Killer's Game.
The Killer's Game. Horrible name. The trailer looks like it is a remake of Smoking Aces with Dave Bautista. You remember Smoking Aces?
It looks like a Lionsgate movie. Lionsgate has... Netflix looks like it's expensive and cheap. Lionsgate looks like it's cheap, but European.
I was about to fucking say that.
All their movies look like they made them for cheap in Europe.
Right, but not like the good parts of Europe. Like, not like Paris or London, like Prague.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Or like Sylvania. or some
Yeah.
shit like that. Like,
Yeah, somewhere in the Czech Republic.
exactly.
The only place in Europe I want to visit. And you know why.
Yeah, yeah. Instagram be Instagramming. Starty out there. But that's fuck wheat is the Ukrainians' main export. It's thoughts.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
But going on.
They got street auditions. The whole
yeah, this thing, it looks like it was, if this came out, if you told me this was made in 1999,
I believe you.
100%.
I'd believe you. Like, it's wild to me how European cinema outside of like Paris and the UK and Ireland,
Italy.
all the rest of the countries, like their production value has gone down somehow. I was
Right,
like, we got more technology and now y'all motherfuckers shit looks cheap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they can make them cheap, and life is cheap. I'm gonna say cheap one more time, cheap. Yeah. So it honestly, it gave me shades of what was the one with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, that's
And,
exactly what I was thinking of. It looks like Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah. Which
that also looked like a cheap European movie.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And like the Hitman's Bodyguard, and here's the thing about it. It's not a good movie.
No.
Any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But it wasn't trying to be. Right?
But
it was
they
fun.
also gotta, we gotta start going back on locations and start shooting the shit in sets, because like the transporter shouldn't be the pinnacle, the last pinnacle of European action to come out.
Man. I would like, and I'll give you like even the Transporter all the way up until Transporter 2.
Transporter 2 fucking sucks.
Right, but like I'm saying, like Transporter 3, I think that was all digital sets. Like
I mean, half of Transporter 2 was as well.
I mean, I can't, like, dude, I barely remember the first Transporter. I know.
Yeah, first Transporter was dope.
All I remember
Jason that he just oiled himself up so niggas couldn't grab onto him. He pulled a Bronson. Because Bronson would like pour piss and shit on himself. Just so when the guards would come in to fight him, they couldn't grab onto him. And then he ripped the bike pedals off the bike and put them on his feet, and Jason Statham kept roundhouse kicking people in the face. That shit was hard.
Maybe I need to go back and watch the Transporter. It's had to be 15 years since I've seen that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I was just like, y'all used to do action movies amazing. Nikita, Unleashed, Transporters.
Oh yeah, fucking Danny the Dog, aka Unleashed for American audiences. That was just on fucking. I came up in Hulu like 3 months ago, and another one of those was like, let me fucking put it on. Man, remember when fucking what's this fucking face? I can't even think of it right now. Fifth Element.
Yeah, Luc Besson.
Yeah, remember when Luc Besson used to be good?
Yeah, man. Even though I recently rewatched The Fifth Element, and even I was like, damn, this movie fucking sucks. But at least it has, there's something there.
Right, there's something
everything
magical.
Else.
Right, there's something magical about that fucking movie, despite the fact that the story makes no goddamn sense.
All right, well, back to this Dave Bautista movie. Sophia Boutella, she just looks like she doesn't want to be there.
No, but that's the way she looks in most of the movies that she's in. Remember Hotel Artemis?
I didn't even watch that.
Yeah, like she looked bored in that. She definitely looks bored as fuck in those Rebel Moon movies.
And Palm Clemente, God bless her, she is
she's trying.
Yeah, she's man. Trying. Like every movie she's in, she's just like, yo, she's like, if this is my last role, I'm gonna make sure people remember me. And I'm like, yo, you don't have to try this hard.
I hope she doesn't get stuck in the consummate role of
Psycho,
of Wish.com Bond villain, right? Because like this last couple of movies she's been in, that's just it.
Also, Dave Bautista, that haircut is doing nothing for you, my guy. Like
just be bald.
I feel
dude.
bad. I
Just
feel so bad.
Just be bald. It's
Yeah,
fine.
man, that shit looks terrible. Yeah,
Right,
the Killer's Game. When is, I don't even know when this drops. To be quite honest with you,
that doesn't matter. It could have already come out.
Lionsgate, baby.
Lionsgate. So, if you like Dave Bautista, there you go.
All right, and I'm pretty sure we have more trailers to talk about, but the only one I can remember right now is Venom's The Last Dance.
I was gonna say Beetlejuice as well.
Oh, I didn't watch it just
Oh, you didn't
because
watch
the
it?
first trailer did enough for me.
Right. Well, all right, then we'll just talk about The Last Dance.
Yeah, I don't believe this is the last one either.
No. All right, let's if it keeps on making money, you're gonna see Tom Hardy as a 75-year-old man in the Venom costume. All right?
I love
let's
how
get that
Tom
straight.
Hardy loves playing Venom and gives 110% to Venom, but then won't give 110% for Mad Max.
I
Or the
don't get
Revenant.
it.
You a fucking bitch.
I don't get it. I do not get it. But like, God bless him for giving his all for this.
Yeah, dog. Because
In a movie,
listen, I am eating the wild edible, and you remember how I was for Madam Web? Like I was fucking gone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be gone for this too.
And you know what? I only hope that this is as bad as Madam Web.
Yeah. It's I said this yesterday, and I think it's funny. The trailer for Craven is going to be 2 years old by the time Craven comes out. Like Craven was supposed to come out before this and Madam Web, and that motherfucker is coming out after both of these.
And they were hyping it up so much. They were hyping it up.
They still are. Like the president of Sony's like, yeah, it's coming out at Christmas because we know people are going to go see Craven over and over. I'm like, yo. Yeah,
you can't even get motherfuckers to see their parents on Christmas, right? They're not leaving the house to go fucking watch Aaron Taylor Johnson in a bad mustache.
I am sorry too. Like y'all are opening up against Sonic the Hedgehog and the Lion King prequel. Like y'all did that shit to yourself,
right? Like y'all you will be lucky if people see Craven once.
I'll be seeing Craven because we can get that press screening, baby.
But like, yeah,
this Venom movie, dog.
It looks fucking ridiculous. It looks so stupid.
They
it's
spent
so stupid.
way. This is another one where I was like, yo, y'all spent way too much fucking money.
Right?
Like, I don't know how this one is more expensive than the one that has Carnage. Because two characters people always want to see, Venom and Carnage. And this one looks 10 times more expensive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that shot of the soldiers hanging out the helicopter, I was like, yo, that's type hard though.
Like it looks better than we all know that it's going to be, right?
Right. So the co-writer of this series, Kelly Marcel, makes her directing debut because apparently she co-wrote this movie with Tom Hardy.
All right. Yeah. Let's
Tom
do
Hardy
it.
is the star, producer, co-writer, and Kelly Marcel, who wrote the last three, is now directing, co-writing, and producing. So
yeah, let's do it. Fucking nothing can go wrong with that combination. Nothing.
Chiwetel, the fuck, man. Juno, same like Juno. I know you haven't been in much, and you need a win, but damn, yo, like
look, let them all get bask in this beautiful, fucking black gooey Venom light. Let them all.
Venom dances with Mrs. Chen on a bridge in Las Vegas in the middle of a casino, and nobody says anything.
All right, now you've talked about that, but we got to talk about the thing.
With the
horse. Got to talk about the thing.
The horse, the thing that sold me on this shit. Besides the plane, because that plane shit is kind of retarded too, where they're fighting a whole ass. I don't even know what to call that. I guess that's a symbiote monster on a plane. I was like, oh, they're doing Twilight Zone.
Like symbiote Voltron, they all formed up to make one giant one. I don't know.
How the fuck did they get on a plane like that anyway?
Doesn't matter. They got on.
The horse is fucking stupid, and I cannot wait to see that shit. Like, that's the only reason why I'm excited to see this movie.
So if you go and watch the trailer, in the end of the trailer, last shot is Eddie Brock riding on a Venom horse.
That's going like 200 miles an hour.
It's like he goes with Venom. How fast can you make this thing go without killing it?
And
then
Venom's
next
like,
thing you
let's
know,
see.
Let's see, Eddie. And the Venom voice, the dumbass. I love the dumbass Venom.
Not
Like a
Venom
like a
is
vaudeville character.
That's the thing. Is like Venom's supposed to be scary and threatening, and they made him into like a fucking wisecracking sidekick.
He sounds like a vaudeville character, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, Eddie.
So this might be the one that does send me to an insane asylum. Because I saw that Venom horse, I was like, oh yeah, y'all went full retard.
Yeah, it is.
That's
peak bad ideas. That's peak
terrible.
bad ideas.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible.
Cannot
on every
wait.
level.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Venom: The Last Dance drops October 25th, and is gonna make mad money because the only other movie coming out around that time is Joker. There ain't nothing else to see besides that and Joker.
Yeah, that's
and they're
surprising.
both shot in IMAX, so like Sony better fucking give us an IMAX screening.
And like, it's October 25th. No horror movies. No horror movies in October. What the fuck are you doing? You drop horror movies all summer long. You don't save one for spooky season?
Yeah.
This is why you're going out of business.
Well, I'll get into that in the main review because we got to talk about Warner Brothers because y'all release strategy. I'm like, the fuck? Anyways, but yeah, Venom: The Last Dance. That's such a stupid ass title. Venom: The Last Dance.
Magic Mike got a last dance.
That's
why
different.
not Venom?
That nigga.
Everybody gets a last dance, baby.
That Magic Mike's a stripper, so his last movie being The Last Dance, you're like, yeah, okay, makes sense.
But nigga, they was dancing. Did you see that? Look, there's nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense with Venom. Nothing.
We'll know if this is good or bad if the screening is at the Sony screening room. If they're like, yeah, the screening is going to be at the Sony screening room, 2 p.m. on a Monday again.
Yes, the film blurs. Yes, follow us to the Madam Web suite with the 3 chairs.
They had to do 2 press screenings for Madam Web. We managed to get into the important press screening, and then we walk out, and the people we're normally with are waiting to go in. And I was just like, good luck, y'all.
It's like,
good luck. Oh, shit, yo. Listen, it can't be worse than Morbius. I like Madam Web better than Morbius. I'll be real with you. Like, people are like, Morbius is better than Madam Web. And I'm like, yo, listen, Madam Web, I was never not entertained.
Right, like, better how? Right? Like, what
like, is it a worse made movie? Absolutely. But as far as entertainment, it's Madam Web all day, every day.
Like, Madam Web's on Netflix right now, and they still haven't fixed that girl's glasses. They got her on streaming with those cattywampus glasses. Just look, give it a look. Just knock it up, just a hair. Like, do something.
When Black Friday rolls around, you best believe I'm copping that 4K because you know that motherfucker's gonna be on sale for like $5-8, and of course I'm gonna buy it.
Like, you can't make a movie. Like, you had to try to make a movie as bad as Madam Web. There was artists involved, geniuses involved to make it that bad.
I was done 5 minutes into that motherfucker. The spider people in Peru run around the trees.
I mean, the whole entire, like, her mom giving the exposition in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, you should not be talking this much, bitch.
Mom, you're a fucking bitch. How irresponsible. You went to the Amazon. And I'm like, yo, she died giving birth to you. And your first thing upon hearing this is she was irresponsible because she went to the Amazon. Not the fact that she died during childbirth. I don't care where she... dog, she could be on top of the Eiffel Tower. She died giving childbirth. I mean, giving birth to you.
She wins Mother of the Year.
Yeah,
right?
man, like that. That argument is out the window.
Right. And I like just let's talk. Like, I don't want to get into a Madam Web conversation. There's so much, but like the fact that like Dakota Johnson, her only EMS ability is to give chest compressions.
I also like how she's 38 and still acts like an orphan. Like she keeps all the memorabilia in a fucking suitcase under her bed, like a fucking little kid.
Yeah, and like let's talk about the restaurant scene. You like no proprietor of any restaurant is gonna let these three young bitches scuff up their tables and put on a strip show.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney and Isabella, they were both like, yeah, those football guys kind of make us uncomfortable. Look like they want to rape us. And the black chick's like, all right, well, let's go over there and give them a striptease show anyway.
Right. If you have not watched Madam Web,
yeah, watch it.
That's
yeah, watch it.
Beautiful.
It's a wild movie for so many different reasons.
So, oh my god, I think we'll watch that shit today.
Let's get into the main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the Film Blurds feature film review.
Let's start with in a violent nature. This movie, like every horror movie, comes out with a lot of hype. And it came out, IFC was like, yeah, they were going to give us an NC-17, so we're just going to come out unrated. I remember everybody who saw it was like, oh my God, don't eat anything beforehand. It's so disgusting. And I heard from people like, yo, it's basically Terrence Malick if he made a slasher movie. And that's basically true. This movie is basically if Terrence Malick did Friday the 13th Part 2.
I'm kind of with that.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. I think I get why people don't like it because it's too slow for them, but I love that shit. I love that it's slow. As far as the violence go and how stomach churning, like it is not. Yo, people overhyped it. I'm like, dog, this is not that bad. And the one kill that everybody kept talking about, like, yeah, that kill is fucking insane. Like that is the craziest kill I've ever seen in a slasher movie ever. I was just like, yo, like the whole theater started laughing. Like I leaned forward and just went, yo, and everybody started laughing.
Yeah, all right. And I didn't get a chance to watch it this weekend, but now you got me hyped up for it.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, it's a slasher movie. People are like, oh, the characters suck. The characters are stupid. I'm like, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking asshole teenagers in the middle of the woods. Like, yeah, when have they ever been written well?
Right,
never.
Like, no kid in a slasher has ever been smart. And don't talk to me about character or pacing or anything like that. When horror fans made what was the fucking Defiler? What the fuck is that movie?
Oh, Terrifier.
Terrifier. You made that a hit so much that there's a third one. So don't talk to me about that shit.
Listen, this is an hour and a half. Terrifier. I've only seen the second one. I remember Terrifier 2 is like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah. I tried to get past the first one. I've
never seen the first one, just seen 2.
I got 20 minutes into it and it was just so boring.
Yeah, man. Look, I liked it. Like, there's nothing else I can say. Like, it is what it is. Like, I know a lot of people were pissed off at the last 20 minutes, but I thought the last 20 minutes really heightened the dread because that's the whole point. Is like, you don't know if this motherfucker's gonna pop out at any second. That's what I loved about it. And people are like, last 20 minutes were pointless, and I hated the last 20 minutes. I'm like, man, y'all motherfuckers y'all got ADHD brains.
They can't. You give them exactly what they want, and then they don't want it.
Yeah, man. Yo, this movie has. Look, no slasher film is ever gonna top the kill that's in this movie. I'm sorry, like it's just impossible. But yeah, do characters make stupid choices? Yes. also, it's not that gross because when they start killing people, you could tell the shit's prosthetics. That's one of the things I like about it is like, oh yeah, those are prosthetics. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And I appreciate that versus what the fake CG shit we would normally get.
yeah, yeah. So like,
Yeah,
you
y'all
can't
niggas
make
gotta calm down.
can't make these motherfuckers happy.
Yo, I'm saying like this movie was hyped up by people who both loved it and hated it, and I walked out. I was like, oh, that was a cool slasher. Like it's a different way to do a slasher movie.
Right, and I appreciate that. Look, it can't be worse than Skinamarink.
What's cool about this? There's no score. It's all ambient sound, and I think that actually adds to the dread of this fucking movie. To be quite honest with you.
Right, like so someone tries to do something with a little bit of artistry, and you just shit all over it.
Yeah, man. This movie dispels the notion that Canadians are nice people.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's good to
So,
know.
all right, let's move on to another horror film, which called The Watchers. I don't understand the release strategy of this movie because this is a movie you drop in September, March, or April. Like, it's not bad enough to be a January movie, but I don't know why you dropped this motherfucker during the summer.
M Night. It's got the M Night name.
Jesus Christ. I will say this. Ishana Shyamalan, I'm excited to see what she does with a good script. Because as it stands now, this was a B movie that went to a C movie very quickly.
All right, like I was never really on board, and honestly, like there are very few nepo baby directors that I actually think are worth a salt. Like Coppola's for one of them.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, the only thing I thought of was Sofia Coppola, and that's it.
Brandon Cronenberg.
I haven't seen any of his movies.
All right, yeah, like he is really taking up like the Cronenberg mantle.
Hopefully,
like
Francesca can step up because it seems like she's about to start making her own films as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
And look, I support that.
Yeah,
because look, Marty ain't gonna be around forever, and if Francesca steps up to the plate and starts, making great movies, then by all means, man, I want to have a Scorsese keep making movies.
Right, and that's fine. But like for the most part, like just like more than like nepo baby actors, nepo baby directors, I have a razor sharp fucking margin of error. Right.
I mean, I'll give it this. I'll give it this. It's well made. I'll say that. Like her framing, her style, I dig.
But
It's
like,
just,
how much is that her? How much is that of her? Is the money? I would have loved to have seen like a no budget indie from
what,
her,
like Sixth Sense type budget.
like not even like lower budget, like some student film. Like I haven't even seen her student films.
I mean, she cut her teeth on the show she did with her dad on Apple. Like her dad created that show, and that's how she got her start. Is like he was just like, well, direct an episode and see how you like it first.
And see, like that, you still have millions of dollars at your disposal, right? So even if the story was bad, it would have looked good.
Well,
right?
Let's get into the story. So the story is about Dakota Fanning and playing a total cliche. You know what I mean? The disaffected, disillusioned girl, because something tragic happened to her, and she's just an asshole. She works a day job at a pet store, and she has to deliver this rare bird to a zoo, and ends up getting lost in part of the forest where these creatures are. And lo and behold, she ends up in this bunker with 3 other people, and we get to reveal that these creatures are, changelings eventually. The reveal about what the creatures are, and the reveal there's a couple of reveals. I was just like, I wasn't fully on board as is, and then I
Right.
kind of just the last 30 minutes, the last 20, 30 minutes, I completely checked out, where I was just like, fuck.
Right.
And it's wild too, because Dakota Fanning does not have an accent, but her mom does, and everybody else around her does, because this takes place in Ireland. And it wasn't until the end of the movie where I was like, oh, she's supposed to be Irish too. Where the fuck is the accent?
See, like this is.
Georgina Campbell, she's the main character from Barbarian. She's in this, and then I booted up Hulu last night. She's in another horror movie that's on Hulu. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch that. I'm like, yo, she's our next scream queen.
Which one was
black
that?
Irish chick.
Was that the Run Sweetheart Run?
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked about that. I fucking hated it.
All right, shout out to Georgina Campbell. She's a scream queen now.
Right. Yeah, good for her. Good for, look, make your money, boo.
But yeah, man, this movie, only positive I can say, like, even though I didn't think the performance was that great, it was just good to see Dakota Fanning in a lead role in a studio movie again. And that's like the biggest positive I can say about this movie, other than I saw it at Dolby 88 and Dolby headquarters, and that sound mix in Dolby 88 is incredible. Like, that shit was loud as fuck. And you would think a movie that loud, the jump scares would get me more, and I'm a dude who gets startled easily. Nobody jumped the entire screening. Like, I looked around, like, nobody was jumping. So I was like, damn, this movie's loud as fuck, and you can't even get people to like wince or react to these jump scares.
Yeah, because like you said, like, it's telegraphed, man. Like,
I don't think they should have. I think the movie probably would have been better off if they had not explained the creatures, because they explained the creatures in the last 20 minutes, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, like, sometimes the scariest thing is just not knowing.
Yeah, man.
Right?
And don't
Like,
get me wrong. There's one scene where I was just like, it was effective. It was where Dakota Fanning goes into one of the holes they hide out in. And I thought that whole thing was very tense-filled and dread-filled, and that's about it, though.
Yeah, I mean, even the sun shines on a dog's asshole at least once a day, right? So, like, could have got it all wrong.
Yeah, it's weird that this is coming out in the middle of the summer. I was just like, yo, y'all putting this out now, but you couldn't put out Dune like now, or like even Kevin Costner's Western, Jeff, that comes out in a couple of weeks, and I'm just like, why is this coming out during the summer? Like, why not put this shit out during the fall?
Right. It's not a blockbuster, right? It
yeah,
is
because the tracking on it is awful.
I mean, we were talking about this last episode, I think. Yeah, it's people think it's horrible.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it had the premiere at Cannes, and ever since that Cannes premiere, like, also, I have a request from Warner Brothers. Stop screening your movies at your building and start screening them at Dolby 88, because the presentation is just 10 times better at Dolby 88.
That's fair.
Unless you're going to do screening room number 2. Then I'll go to screening.
I just like the flex of going into WB, but yeah, like, beyond
the whole experience of getting in and out of that motherfucker is terrible each time. Between the security guards, the fucking maze that building is.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like the security guards at Dolby 88 are any better, but they are a tad bit friendlier than the security guards at Hudson Yards and their building.
Yeah, well, because at Dolby 88, when you go in there, they just they try to give you like a Billy Goat's Gruff question, right? It's like, oh, what movie you here to see?
And you know what, man?
I like that's fine.
They used to not do that either. Like, they're used to, like, you just walk in and just be like, yo, I'm here for the screening. They let you in. It's literally just that black dude at the desk who's like, all right, so what movie you're seeing? I'm like, nigga.
The one with the glasses?
The old dude.
Yeah.
The one with the glasses, he does that sometimes, but he's a little more friendly than the old black dude, where I'm just like, nigga, if you know I'm here to see a movie, then you know, like, And you know, they know what screenings are going on. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. But that's the most I've ever had to deal with at Dolby 88, as opposed to like scanning my bag and then having them do the individual elevator all the way up, and then
Don't
having
take pictures. You can't take pictures.
It's like,
which is weird because it's only the one security guard there. All the rest of the security guards are like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. It's a lobby.
Right. And it's also like, don't make your building so fucking beautiful. I won't take pictures of it, bitch.
Yeah, man, it's fucking. But yeah, so please, I'd rather just go to Dolby 88 than deal with fucking Hudson Yards. Right. But yeah, only other thing I could say is it was nice seeing the old school New Line logo with the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't have to have the WB logo morph into the New Line logo. It was literally the old school blue New Line logo.
All right, well that's something, I guess.
Yeah, so
right.
yeah, the Watchers, you know, it'll be on Max next month by 4th of July. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think anybody should really be rushing to see this shit.
Especially since you said even in pristine Dolby screening environment, you're not jumping at the scares. That tells me something right there.
I mean, y'all motherfuckers need to go see Furiosa before you see this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So
anyway, Watchers.
Let's move on to Kinds of Kindness.
I enjoyed this movie. It's too long, but going into this, if you think this is going to be Poor Things, it's not. Right?
This is Mean Yorgos. So by Mean Yorgos, I mean Dogtooth, The Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer. I love Dogtooth. I love The Lobster. Don't really fuck with Killing of a Sacred Deer. Like, Killing a Sacred Deer is just a mean, dour movie. And this is a mean movie, but it's not dour.
Right. So,
but there is a lot of shit in this. Like, I'm going to give y'all a warning. Like, a character gets raped at one point, and I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, in this movie is real horny, for at least a lack of a better word. There's a lot of sex.
I mean, there's lots of sex in Poor Things and The Favorite as well.
Right, but I think because a lot of this is sort of homosexual sex, is going to make a contingent of people very uncomfortable.
I'd say it's 50-50 between straight and homosexual.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that 50% is like going to dudes who get really upset at that shit, like, just really, I don't get, but whatever.
It's
but they're going to get really upset.
But I will say, I'll be real with you. I think the best story of this triptych, because it's 3 stories, the best one was the first one, and I kind of wish he would just took the first one and just fleshed it out a little more and made it into like a nice 80-minute feature.
Right. So this movie is like, it's not weird, it's strange, right? It's like, it's off kilter. And I kind of agree with you that I wish he had just made one movie, right? Like, if any of the stories were like the entire movie, I could have been there, except for the second one. The second one was really, it was extra mean to me.
It was just too methodically paced, too. Like, there's parts of that where I was just like, damn, this is slow. And then I liked the third one up until the rape. And I was just like, yo, y'all lost me. And then the way the third one ends, I was just like, well, I mean, fuck it. Like, the third, I'll be real with you, out of all of them, I think I like the third one the least, just because of the rape and then the way it ends. I'm just like, this is garbage.
The rape really was. It's not even like graphic.
It's not graphic.
It's just
but
the way.
It's
the way it happens.
Yeah, man. It's just
like,
so fucking mean spirited. Yeah, dude. It's like, I get what Yorgos is kind of trying to say. Like, the title is literally supposed to be ironic because this movie
Right.
just shows nothing but the disgusting sides of human beings.
Right. And look, I'm kind of here for it. I thought it was beautifully shot. Right.
Well, yeah, he had
Well
Robbie
acted.
Ryan, baby. Like this is his third collaboration with Robbie Ryan, still shot on film, just like Poor Things and The Favorite. I
Yeah.
honestly wish they would start making film prints for Yorgos's movies, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like it's immaculately shot. Jesse Plemons
Yeah, he needs a
was
best
great.
actor. Yeah. I see why he won best actor at Cannes, and now I'm like, yeah, he needs to win best actor next year at the Oscars because you will not see a better performance than from him. Like
Right.
he murdered it.
And like so, um, every character, in every like plays someone different in every vignette, right? Jesse Plemons became a different character in every single one, like everything. I can't say the same for Emma Stone. Like, right? Like they were all just kind of variations on Emma Stone.
I would have personally, and here's my thing. I personally think, like I said, the first story probably should have been its own movie. And even though I think it's the weakest one out of the three, even the last one, if you had fleshed that out a little more, probably would have been an interesting movie about these two people working for a cult to find this magical,
But to find the
uh,
Messiah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that could have been its own feature as well.
Yeah.
Because
Like
they all don't feel fully formed is the problem. It's the problem with anthology films is like all the ideas are there, but they don't ever feel fully formed.
and like it builds enough of the world and gives you just enough of the rules to know that things aren't how they are in reality, but it doesn't give you enough of the rules to understand, right?
Because the only thing that connects these three stories together is RMF.
Right. RMF eats a sandwich. RMF flying. I forget. I didn't see what the first one is because
RMF is dying is the first one. The second one is RMF is flying, and then the last one is RMF eats a sandwich.
Right. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie despite its meanness or because of its meanness. It is too long. Yeah.
I'm gonna see it one more time because I've seen all of Yorgos's movies with my brother, and I do want to give this another watch.
Right.
But I just feel like my opinion won't change, and that it's fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
That's fair. That's
Right?
fair.
Because I don't like I don't hate Killing of a Sacred Deer, but I don't like Killing of a Sacred Deer. But I love Dogtooth. I love The Lobster. I love The Favorite. I love Poor Things, and this is just like it is what it is. Honestly.
I like it very much. It is nowhere near going to be on my favorite of the year.
Yeah, it is not Poor Things, Kyle.
Right. It's not Poor Things, but I like weird cinema. Right? And like at least it's something. At least it's something different.
Do you know what this was originally called?
What was it called?
And with 3 ellipses.
Okay. All right, cool.
And I just read last night that he made this movie because the post-production was so long for Poor Things. So he was just like, him and his co-writer came up with some ideas and they couldn't pick one. So they just decided to do all 3 real cheap, real quick.
Yeah. It fucking indie filmmaking with a A-list talent. Fucking go for it. Like you got the clout now. You got the clout. Do it.
Yeah. Damn, Poor Things, the post-production on Poor Things was so long that he made a fucking
movie
2 hour and 45-minute anthology movie. That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like it, don't love it. I will see it again. People are going to hate it.
Oh yeah. Look. If you fuck with The Favorite and Poor Things, but didn't fuck with Dogtooth or The Lobster, absolutely stay away. Like I said, both of those Dogtooth and the Lobster, as mean as they are, they still have heart. And at least I watched those and I'm like, yo, I get the point, right? I don't really understand what the point was with this one.
Yeah, and maybe on a second watch, at least
It'll
the
reveal
point.
itself, right? But I'm also sitting here thinking like, will it though?
Yeah, I mean, like I got from it the kinds of kindness is like any sort of kind gesture you do is poisonous, right? So that's what I got from it. But I could just be reading into things.
Look, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong. But look, he's getting ready to start his next feature, which Universal snatched up, and I'm like, damn, I wish you stayed at Fox. So his next one's called Bugonia, gonna star both Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, and it's basically about these two guys think that a CEO of this major corporation is an alien and they kidnap her.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm looking for, like, I'll never not be excited to see a Yorgos movie.
Look, I'd rather have you fail at being interesting than succeed at being boring.
Yeah, like I'm not mad at this at all, but it's just it after coming off of The Favorite and Poor Things back to back, it's very disappointing because
Yeah.
the whole thing feels like half formed, to be quite honest with you.
Right. I mean, but then again, like you said, it is a film that he made while he was working on his other film. It feels like, hey, we have this money, we got these ideas, let's do a movie. I kind of dig the balls of that. That's very indie. You
Yeah,
know?
because it feels like he probably spent like maybe 2 weeks on each segment, to be
Right.
quite honest with you. At least
Yeah,
shooting.
Right. It feels real indie to me, and I dig that.
So it is what it is. I get why the reception out of Cannes, everybody's just like, yeah, sure. Nobody
Right.
loves it, nobody hates it. They're just like, sure.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like everybody else feels it's a disappointment after these two excellent fucking films.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to argue. I'm not like, I can't even try to argue. It's like I get it. I get it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I don't begrudge you or your resources, but also take your time. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. This is this is living proof that sometimes you just need to take your time.
Right. That's fair.
So, all right, let's get into our final one, which is Bad Boys for Life. Or not Bad Boys for Life, Bad Boys Ride or
Ride or
Die.
Die.
I'm gonna be real with you. The first act of this movie, I was just like, ooh, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah, it is slow and it's weird.
Yep.
It's real weird.
And they just start throwing shit in there. Like, the fact that Mike is getting married to his therapist, I was just like, I just watched the first 3. Where was this bitch?
Right. And then like the fact that most of the ammo team is gone. Right.
Well, only one person's gone.
Right,
That's
but like
what's his face? Charles Melton. And I get it, because like he, like, after May, December, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going back to this dumb shit. I was winning awards for a Todd Haynes movie.
And fucking Teresa Randall. They replaced the wife.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know if it was scheduling differences or she's just tired of playing the wife. And either way, it's like, I get it.
Yeah, or maybe she talks shit about the slap out of turn.
I don't know. I don't think it's that, but it is weird not seeing Teresa Randall there.
Right.
And it's just the other black. I've seen her before. I can't remember what her name is, but I've seen her in other stuff, and I was like, bro, y'all couldn't even try to find somebody who looked like Teresa Randall.
Right. They Aunt Viv'd her. They reversed Aunt Viv'd her.
Yeah. They should have. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I like that for like the whole thing with Mike's wife. I'm like, this is fucking terrible.
Right.
Because we haven't met her before, and all of a sudden now he gets married to a character we've never met before, and we're supposed to care.
And then Marcus has a heart attack and then goes on a vision quest, which is beautifully shot. It's a beautiful sequence.
Parts of it, because some of the images they cut in are just of safari animals, like zebras, goats, and I'm like, the fuck.
But when he's falling through the sky, like that was like through that tunnel of clouds. It's like, all right, that's kind of hot.
The one thing I do appreciate is that they kept Captain Howard the heart of the story as he was in the last one. What I don't appreciate is how they, again, I don't like the character because I don't know shit about her. They turn his wife into a plot device. Same with Rhea Seehorn. Rhea Seehorn just
his
becomes
wife or his daughter?
His wife. Because remember, his wife gets taken.
Does his wife get taken?
Yeah, she gets taken.
Oh, you mean Mike's wife?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like the okay. I thought you meant the captain's wife.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the captain's wife.
No, we don't even meet the captain's wife.
Right.
We just meet his daughter, which is played by Rhea Seehorn, and his granddaughter. And the granddaughter also gets taken. Rhea Seehorn, quite honestly, could have cut the fuck out of this movie because that was a waste. I was just like, yo, the character sucked. I was like, all this shit. It's
she's better than this. She was just like an angry Kim Wexler with a gun.
Yeah, and her decision making in it was irrational just because she had a grudge against Mike's son and then took it out on Mike, despite the fact that she went to his wedding. I'm like, yo, if that's how you felt, why'd you fucking go to his wedding?
And it wasn't even that to me. It was just like the fact of like, I'm gonna kill if I ever see him on the street, I'm gonna gun him down. Like she's an old West prospector. It's like, well, A, it's written horribly.
Two, the niggas in jail. Like, niggas in prison. Like,
it's like, why are you talking about my son? Like, my bastard son who's in jail right now.
Yeah, like he's in prison.
Mentor. Yeah, like, yeah.
Like, because at that point in the story, he's still in fucking prison, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's because it's lazy writing the setup. Is like, oh, he's gonna get out, and then there's gonna be a showdown, but there's not really a showdown.
Also, I didn't know this nigga was in the movie until the opening credits, and then once he came on screen, I was like, oh, that nigga's the bad guy. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, like yeah.
And then
he's always the bad guy.
And then they treat it as this big reveal, and it's just like, dog, I'm bad at guessing what's gonna happen in movies, but like. Come on, I'm not stupid.
I was like, I can tell that's the bad guy.
Yeah, when I saw his name in the opening credits, I was just like, why is he in this? And then when he pops up, you're like, dog, it's clear you're the bad guy because there's no other reason for you to be in this movie.
Right. Yeah, like,
but the movie to me didn't really take off until the helicopter crash, and that's when it got good.
Yeah, because it became like a man on the run. It became more interesting. It became more fun. And let me tell you, what's that little nigga's name? Reggie?
Yeah, they really made up for it because that's one of the reasons why people hate Bad Boys 2 is that whole scene with Reggie and Bad Boys 2. And watching it again, I'm just like, yeah, this is terrible. Where they're playing the black stereotypes.
Right. Yeah. So like Reggie gets a redemptive arc in Bad Boys 4.
Got the
boy
best,
howdy.
He has the best action sequence.
I mean, honestly,
the fucking film.
Like if not the best, the second best. Like
yeah.
It's like don't sleep on fucking Reggie.
Yeah. I let's give it up to Adil and Bilal because they really are like Michael Bay
without the problems.
Yeah. And I can actually see what the fuck's going on because all the drone shit Michael Bay was doing in Ambulance, they doing this too.
Right. Yeah, like
and the first person shooter shit was hard.
That's like if Michael Bay was still doing this shit, that's some shit he would do.
Oh yeah.
Right, 100%. Because like he did the prototype for it in Bad Boys 2 with that 360 through the wall shit.
Yeah, and then he started doing it, and like I loved it. Like even watching Bad Boys 2 again, I'm like, yo, this shit is kind of hard. But then
Right.
they do it in Transformers and Transformers 2, and you're just like, it sucks in those two movies when he does
Right.
it again. And it's just like, dog, it was dope in Bad Boys 2, but it sucks in Transformers, and it sucks in Transformers 2. But Transformers 2, man, look, I thought, look, Bad Boys 2, that shit is disgusting, but Transformers 2, that shit should be nuked from the face of the earth. Like Jesus Christ.
All I can remember from from Transformers 2 is that it's mad problematic. I can't remember any specifics. I think I blocked it out like through trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All those Transformers movies suck, though. So, anyway, let's keep it moving.
Right.
Michael Bay is in this again, and you could clearly tell this nigga still loves this franchise, and that's why he's probably still doing his cameos. I think he's a producer too, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he is. And like, good for him. Like, look, like I said before when we were talking about the first three, like, it's Bad Boys, baby. Like, you can't expect too much from this thing.
I did though, because the third one was so good. It's just so good. And honestly, the thing that kills it for me here, it literally is the script. And then I looked up who wrote this script. The dude who wrote the last one wrote this one, but then the co-writer for it is Will Beall.
Will Beall, what did he do?
Let's bring him up. He was the original dude who wrote before Zack Snyder came on, he wrote Justice League. And I remember reading his Justice League script. I was like, dog, this shit sucks.
Oh shit, all right.
Yeah, let's bring up his writing credits. Gangster Squad.
Ugh.
He has a story credit for Zack Snyder's Aquaman. I meant Justice League. He has a story credit for Zack Snyder's Justice League. He co-wrote Aquaman. He was a writer on Castle. He was a writer on the Training Day show. Remember that?
Yep, and he's got something called Deputy. This TV show. Who's a star?
Stephen Dorff. I remember
Stephen Dorff.
That show came and went. That shit came and went. Oh, he was the creator of both Deputy and Training Day. Yeah, that explains a lot. And he's a co-writer on Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, and he's in the development for the Legend of Conan. Okay, all right. Yeah, and look at the picture of this dude. He looks like a dude named Will Beall.
Well, look. At least, look. I will say this about Axel F. It can't be worse than two or three.
I mean, look.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 is just a less offensive version of Bad Boys 2.
2 gets a pass because it's Tony Scott.
Yeah, and it's basically a Michael Bay movie before Michael Bay.
Right.
Like same style, everything. All the problematic shit. It's a Michael Bay movie before Michael Bay.
3 is like, oh God, 3 isn't even like it's not even shot on film. I think it's shot on Crayola. It's got no life to it. It's not funny.
It looks like a TV movie because it's overlit. Like,
So,
I will say this, like, yo, Beverly Hills Cop and Bad Boys, they both have the same style and quirks just because that's Bruckheimer, bro. Like, Jerry Bruckheimer, like, I know people shit on Michael Bay for his style, but Jerry Bruckheimer had a stable of directors that all had that same style, like Tony Scott, Michael Bay, Simon West. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a couple other ones. They all had the same fucking style.
And you know what? So if I'm not a Bay apologist, then I'm a Bruckheimer apologist. Like, because I love that, like, that fucking popcorn shit.
They used the old school logo, Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer logo in front of this one. I mean, fuck shit. Top Gun Maverick, That was John Krasinski doing a Bruckheimer movie, because it looks like every Bruckheimer production looks like a Michael Bay movie. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to say.
Looks like a Tony Scott. You know, like Tony Scott was Michael Bay before Michael Bay.
You know why? Because Jerry Bruckheimer produced literally all those fucking movies.
And I'm not mad at it. This is why I love Tony Scott.
I mean, there's a reason why CSI was a Jerry Bruckheimer production. Even that looks like if Michael Bay made a police procedural.
Right.
Because that's his style.
Yeah. I love it. Like, this. It speaks to my sensibilities.
But yeah.
This is not, look, it's not as good as 3, right? 3 was surprising at how good it was.
Yeah, I honestly wish 3 was the last one.
I didn't actually need another.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I love this franchise, but like, we could have ended at 3.
Yeah,
been all right.
Because I'll be real with you, I do enjoy this, but also, like, that, I'm telling you, man, for those first 30-40 minutes, I was just like, yo, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, Martin Lawrence had me dying throughout. Like, they let my man's off the chain, and he had me rolling the entire time. He's the fucking
Cookie Monster now. Like, he's gone full Cookie Monster.
But I don't know, man. I'm just like, they straight up asked Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, like, are they ready to hand off the franchise? And and Will Smith's like, nah, I don't think so, not yet. And Martin Lawrence is like, yeah, my back didn't give out. Yeah, I still got like another 1 or 2 left in me. And I'm just like, I don't know, y'all. After walking, I don't hate this, but I'm just like, I don't think y'all should keep doing these.
Let's wrap it up. Let's get to the point where you truly transition this franchise over to some young guns, right?
Yeah, ammo's right there.
Give it to Ammo. Fucking put Reggie on Ammo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, why don't they stick Reggie in Ammo?
Yeah, right. Like, they always complain about he needs a job, right? So put him on fucking Ammo.
Like, the only reason I'm not super mad at this is because I love Joey P, and I'm so glad to see Joey P still out here posting on Instagram. Like, of course, it's not Bad Boys without me. Of course, I'm in it. He's like, I love doing these movies.
And like, for the longest time, like, I thought Joey Pants was actually dead. Right? Like, I thought that's the reason they killed him off in the third one. Was like, oh yeah, Joey Pants is actually dead. Right? Because it's like, no, he's still out there. He's just taking it easy.
Yeah, look. And I don't blame him, bro. Like, if all he's gonna do from now on is pop up in Bad Boys movies, I can't even be mad at that, because I'm like, yo, my man's is getting paid. Like, he's been in so much. He's had such a prolific career, especially with 2 franchises, The Matrix and this, and not to mention all the character work he's done.
And The Sopranos, come on.
Yo, you know what I forgot about?
What?
In the first Bad Boys, at the beginning where they're being carjacked, that's Tig from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say the other weakness about this movie is the same thing about Bad Boys 2 is weak villain. Like, the only times I felt like the villain had any personality or was a threat was Bad Boys 1, because Techie was the go-to bad guy in the 90s. Like that dude, he just has the face of I'm a scumbag villain, and he plays it well.
And he's French,
yeah. Like Techie, and then in Bad Boys 3, like the Bruja witch, she was threatening.
Right. But yeah,
this dude here, Eric Dane, I was just like, dude, this is inert. His character is inert.
And like the conspiracy,
makes no sense.
Like, I still don't understand. Like, I went with it. I went with it. Right. Like,
I still don't know how Captain Howard connects to this shit.
I don't know how any of that shit connects. Like, so you were kidnapped by the cartels, but now you work for the cartels, but now you're setting up. No, that's not, like, let me scratch that off. That's not how that works, right? Like, I shouldn't have to do a Venn
mental
diagram,
gymnastics,
right, to figure it out. It's like, if you're not going to give me a good reason for you to be bad, then just be a better bad guy. Right? But that plane crash sequence was hot.
Yeah,
Like,
and don't get me wrong, the third act shootout was hot too. Like that shit was hard. Like everything was hard except for the albino alligator and the joke with Martin Lawrence and that. I was just like,
yeah, like we
yeah, exactly.
It's fucking obvious, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Don't be fucking obvious.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but again, that first person shooter shit in that third act, I was like,
that's next level.
And the drones, like, you know me, I hate drone shots because they always look cheap. But like the drones, what they're doing, I was like, oh, this is Michael Bay shit.
Yeah, like it is a quality made movie, right?
Yeah, you cannot tell me Batgirl sucks. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. We've been saying that for fucking years. You can't tell me Batgirl sucks, right?
Yo.
It is unsalvageable, right?
Yo, because I'm saying like this, I'm like mixed negative on this movie, and even I'm like, yo, there's no way these two made a bad Batgirl movie.
Right. Like if they put half the shit in the Batgirl, then they put in the Bad Boys 4? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
If we do have to do another Bad Boys, like please get a better fucking script. But I also think the last one was so good because I keep forgetting when I watched it, it said story by Joe Carnahan, and then he still had a screenplay credit as well.
Oh, I didn't realize Joe Carnahan.
Yeah, he was supposed to do Bad Boys 3, but like he dropped out because it was taking too long and they wouldn't give him the budget to make it proper.
Right.
Yeah, Joe Carnahan was supposed to do Mission Impossible 3 as well.
Can we stop fucking around and can we get Joe Carnahan back on A-Team too?
Yeah, because A-Team 1 is fucking amazing.
That was a slapper, baby.
Yeah, man.
Like if you had back in early 2000s, Joe Carnahan did a reboot of the A-Team. It was hard as fuck, and like the casting was perfect. How did that not get multiple sequels?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Right. So yo, Joe Carnahan, A-Team Part 2. Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say other than like, yo, this shit felt lazy at points. And then like, don't get me wrong, I think Mike having panic attacks.
It's a nice character development.
Right. And I was just like, there's something interesting here, and the movie's just not interested in doing anything with it. Right? Because I feel like him being older, he's married, he has a kid. I get why he would have panic attacks, and they just don't care about exploring that shit at all.
Right. Yeah. This movie is fine to meh.
Yeah, I can't even recommend people go see it. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Maybe just wait for Hulu because all the previous 3 are on Hulu right now. It's a perfect Saturday Hulu movie.
I would say go out to the theater just because we need motherfuckers just to go out to the theaters, right?
I mean, Inside Out 2 is coming out next weekend, though, dog.
Yeah, but like that's next weekend. We still got this weekend. Let them have some time with it. It's not bad. It's enjoyable. It's you know what you're getting, right?
I think that's the problem. Is like, yo, it feels like Bad Boys finally grew up, and we're gonna get these nice, mature, like action comedies, and they just regressed into dumb juvenile shit again. I was just like, that's a shame.
Right. Yeah,
especially when the plotting is fucking retarded. Because at least there's never a part of Bad Boys 3 where I ever questioned the logic of anything that was going on. The entire movie, even the parts I've enjoyed, I'm like, wait, what the fuck and why the fuck?
Yeah, like and like the fact that I'm thinking about the plot holes is saying something because it's a Bad Boys film.
Right.
Right? Like either you do it or you don't. Right? You either give me a story or don't. I'm fine either way, but pick a lane.
Right, because the first one, they didn't have a story. And you could clearly tell. And even the first movie is easier to follow scene to scene than this motherfucker is.
Yeah. So like pick a lane. Like if you want to give me a Bad Boys movie that's just nothing but a 2-hour action sequence, fine. God bless you. If you want to give me something more nuanced and story driven, something that makes me care, great, fine, perfect. Let's go there. This halfway bullshit.
Yes. And then y'all gotta stop with the extraneous characters. Like the extraneous characters gotta go. By that I mean the dude we talked about, Kim Wexler, Mike's wife. Like Mike's
Right.
wife. Excuse me. Mike's wife is literally a plot device. Like, I'm not lying to y'all. There's nothing to her. I don't even know her name.
I don't know her name. Is she British? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she had an accent.
I don't know. There's nothing I can call her other than Mike's wife or Mrs. Lowry, because we don't know her first fucking name.
Right, like she was there to get kidnapped.
And she does something so incredibly fucking stupid in the movie, where the phone just rings and rings and rings, to the point where somebody in the audience is like, bitch, why don't you pick up the fucking phone?
Right. Yeah.
And I was thinking that too. I'm like, yo, you've missed 4 phone calls. That happens to me where I miss maybe 1 or 2 phone calls. I'll never miss somebody calling me for a 3rd or 4th time.
You'll hear this shit vibrate.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That is beyond. Like, that is, if that's the worst thing.
That's lazy though. That's so
it's
lazy.
lazy. But if that's the worst thing.
Especially because they just called Reggie. Reggie picks up the phone and he's just like, Reggie, shit's going down. And Reggie knew what to do. And meanwhile, it takes Will Smith fucking 5 times before she finally answers the phone. Come on. On some, who's walking around the house that much that they're missing phone calls like that? Because that's what she was doing. She was just walking around doing. We don't even know what the fuck she was doing.
I don't even know what she does.
It's fucking lazy. She's a therapist. Because that's how they met. Because Mike fell in love with her therapy.
So, well, there you go. So this is the thing, right? It's not bad. It's just not good. And it's honestly, to say that it's not up to the caliber of any of the other Bad Boys movies, right?
Because the only one I think I like it more than is probably the first one, but barely.
Right. All right, fair. But like, it's the fact that it's not even at the caliber of like, it's saying something. It's like, and it's enjoyable, right? You will have a good time, but don't think about it.
Look, for me, Bad Boys as a whole is a mediocre action franchise, and I really do think it's past time to just let this shit go.
You know what? Like I said, I've got a special attachment to this franchise. It's experiential, though, right? I can realize that it's time, like, because I love it doesn't mean it's good, right? And it gave us Michael Bay. It gave me some, like, fucking, emotional feels.
It gave me Bad Boys 2, the soundtrack, because that soundtrack is hard, but I can't listen to it anymore because of fucking Diddy. Even though it has Shake Your Tail Feather, Show Me Your Soul, Gangster Shit, The Realest Niggas, like that soundtrack. Also, the only thing I hate about that soundtrack is Loon is on every track, because that was the artist Diddy was trying to push, was Loon. And you never heard from him again.
I miss late 90s, early 2000s soundtracks. Like, for movies.
They did it for the first 3, and apparently there's a soundtrack for this new one, but I can't find it anywhere. It's on Apple, but not on Spotify or Tidal.
Huh. Oh, by the way, the best scene of the movie, DJ Khaled.
Yeah, we forgot. Yo, so we're just going to spoil this for you. So DJ Khaled comes and plays like a shady low-level criminal in Bad Boys 3. And I liked it because Will Smith beats the shit out of him with a meat hammer. He comes back in this one wanting revenge, and that nigga dies in the worst possible way.
Quick.
Like it is.
That nigga dies twice. Honestly, he dies twice.
Like, not only does he get pinned between 2 cars, and I mean pinned to the point where, like, you're dead.
Right.
He has a Molotov cocktail thrown right on him. So like, yeah, so this movie automatically goes up a whole star because of that shit.
We the best.
So what I'm trying to say is, don't be a fuckboy, eat your wife's pussy. He's credited as Khaled, DJ Khaled. That's how he's credited.
I fucking hate him so much.
Yo,
damn it.
How is your name 3? That's like the only person who gets away with that is Mario, where his first and last name is Mario. So it's some real dumbass shit. Khaled.
That's
nickname
fine.
DJ Khaled.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all right.
This is why we can't. This is what happens when we let non-black folk in the black culture.
I thought he was black. I thought he was half.
That nigga's like Aramaic or some shit like that.
That's brown. I'll give him a pass.
Yo, listen, I'll hold you down because I know that ain't holding you. I remember when he said that shit. Every woman he came across, I remember seeing a supercut on Twitter. Every woman he came across on the red carpet just said, "You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Fuck you. You ain't shit." I was like, "Ooh, nigga, you fucked up."
Oh, Khaled.
You ain't.
You
listen. You ain't a man if you ain't eating it right. All right. And that is episode 123.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies. You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.